Hello, hello. We're back. We're gonna talk again. I think my stream, I had a bad VPN connection, so I changed it, and it messed up my YouTube one of the last one. Luckily, the conversation was pretty much over, but I'm gonna have another conversation with TunaChip. Says that he has some better pushback, and he was waiting in the waiting room, but he never got a chance to go in. But he's got a lot to say. Let's get him in here. While I'm doing that, why don't I click this button here? Okay, let's talk. Let's give him a call. I should change my lighting too.
Hey, give me a second. I'm going to make this a little bit better looking.
Sure.
Because
I'm live.
I'm
live right now. I'm live.
Yeah. You are live? Sweet.
Yeah. Emery, you don't like the
I'm
music?
Not gonna say anything.
I've got Lego Racer music going on.
Oh, heck yeah, dude. That's
I love
sick.
It's great.
Here, let me change my virtual cam, yada yada. Source. And gamer cam, bro. Give me that gamer cam. Boom. This should look a little bit better. Unfortunately, it looks like trash. It's so zoomed out. Change it to just webcam, and that should be a lot better. Maybe that's better. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. How you doing, man?
Good. Hold on. Pop you out. Okay, so you have a lot of pushback for me about the ethics of dating as a micro celebrity.
Yeah, for sure. I've broken it down into a couple of things. There were some things that you said that are a part of your initial thoughts, and then there's some other things that are more like they came up in conversation that I want to address because I think that they're a little weird. So I want your opinion because I think that there's like maybe there's like a software update to like where we are in 2023 with what that gradient is, because it feels more like a gradient than like this on-off switch between being a celebrity and being a common person, being an audience member.
Yeah.
What percentage of women, women that are growing up in the era of the internet, I'm talking women that are somewhere between 18 and let's say 28 today, what percentage of them do you think have enough followers on their social media that them making a public post saying what they're into and what they're not into would be a problematic approach towards finding a partner?
It's not just follower count. Like I was getting at before, I wish I'd remembered this shit that I was reading about marketing and networking, but there's different types of power, and the networking part is the intangible. Like, so if you are able to I don't know who the fuck Mr. Mutin is, but I watched Destiny for quite a while, and I knew he's like has to do with Destiny. He's like friends with Destiny, and like I don't even if Mr. Mutin had only 5 viewers in every stream, the fact that I know what his name is, and the fact that I know that he's like close friends with Destiny to some extent means that he has like it's an intangible like power. It is real power. It gives him access to things, but it's not like a number or something you can quantify.
Do you think so? Okay, there's a presence of that power. How different do you think that power is versus like someone knowing that the person they're talking to is a single woman looking for somebody to date them. Because like in the same way that like Mr. Mooden is connected to Destiny, and so is Pixie, which is like the weird thing. Pixie has this like multi-factor thing going on, and that she is part of the Destiny orbit, but she's also a woman who has some form of platform. Most women that you're attracted to, you are aware that they are like an attractive woman and they have an online presence of some degree, at least in the form of like an Instagram. Like, I feel like if you like just looking at a dating profile and knowing that the person is female, there's a power imbalance there.
Kind of, yeah.
To begin with.
Mm-hmm.
Women are more wanted. Women are more liked.
Yeah.
So if any level is too much, which I don't think you think, then we would be in an absurd world where we've kind of like constructed a world where dating is no longer able to be ethical.
Well, I do hate. I do resent the thing that women already have. I mean, but it's just the world we live in. There's nothing you can do about it. But like, I do think it sucks. Like, I wish that wasn't like that. But I mean, as a guy,
it sucks. I don't disagree with that at all.
Yeah,
it like clearly sucks. I guess what I'm noticing though is that. So let's say that you're Pixie, or let me even take a step back. Let's say you're any woman and you want love, but in order to be a woman and be considered normal, in order to socially operate, you need to put yourself out onto the internet, sometimes for business reasons, sometimes for social reasons, sometimes for like that weird in between where when a normal job wants to hire you, the fact that you don't have a social media presence at all is more suspicious than having some form at all nowadays. Just if you want to find love as a woman, what can you possibly do if all of that is prerequisite and for men it's not? Then it's like, well, you just have to sit back and let men approach you without you ever saying what your preferences are, ever saying what your interests are, like being too public about the fact that you are looking and what you are specifically looking for. You're putting a lot of responsibility on women against their will.
No.
If so. You know what I'm saying?
No. Like, what you're saying is not two sides of, like, you're saying, even if the woman is putting out the preferences, the responsibility is still on the men to go, like, seek it out. I think that women should like, ideally, like, be like, like, you can go, if you're a woman, you're Pixie, okay? You can go seek out men. Like, you can go, like, find men. Like, but you can also put the preferences, just not, like, publicly, like, to, like, all of your, like, fans that, like, look up to you and follow you. Like, if I make like another Twitter account that had, like, isn't connected to me, like, in my, like, stream or anything, and, like, I get, like, a bunch of followers, but, like, that'd be different. Like people wouldn't know that the people that I talk to, they're the only thing they have connection to is, like, the Twitter. Like, I don't think that Twitter in itself, like, I don't know, maybe under, like, 10K followers, like, you could do it there and it's not that big of a deal. But, like, in 10K is, like, starting to get up there. But
sure.
but just Twitter itself, but, like, it's the streaming and the connections and stuff that make it like, oh, this person's, like, important. Like, and also
I feel like the reason that Pixie's making this reach out is because Pixie recognizes, and what she's not stating, there are unstated preferences that Pixie has, things that are not in that post, that are implied by the fact that she is making this juncture. Pixie would like to date somebody, seemingly, my guess, date somebody that is aware that she is a content creator and aware what the type of content creation she does means. She wants somebody where if she says, so I was on the Whatever podcast, she doesn't have to stop, give an addendum, show a couple of videos, and then the guy goes, whoa, that's crazy. And then the conversation ends. She wants to be able to skip past that, create a deeper relationship through common culture, which means whoever she dates is already gonna know who she is. She wants to date somebody who is aware of the Destiny orbit. So if she were to message them individually, the ones that she is uniquely interested in, which might not even be true. She might even not be uniquely interested in anybody. But if she were to do that, she would have to do something that's even creepier, which is she would have to go to, like, Destiny's community, look one at a time through all of these people and be like, ah, yes, this is the one I'm interested in. That seems weirder to me than just putting yourself out there and saying, hey, I'm looking to date somebody from this sphere. Give me your info, put a little application in. And then if you are a person who, one, is willing to put that info to me, then I've already kind of gotten your consent to try pursuing you. And two, if you're a person who is willing to put this out there, I don't need to like go through this whole thing where I'm like, how online are you? Are you politically minded at all? Do you like this type of culture at all? She skips so many steps. It's like it's a faster way to find somebody in that category.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's faster, but it has a lot of negative side effects to the relationship, to the people that aren't on the equal playing field. But I do think, think that there's a lot of value to be had. Like, I think I would want like the same thing. I would want somebody I would like to date somebody that knows like about like my stream maybe or something like, but. Sure. But I'm not going to tell my fans that I want to date one of you, because then to all the other fans, then that causes an issue. Like, so I believe I think that fosters a relationship between them and me that they like, it dissolves the boundaries. Like I just think that there needs to be some boundaries there. I had another point, but I'm getting
I wanted to mark on maybe you'll just get reminded. Feel free to stop it at me at any point in a conversation if you do think that you like remember it. Okay, sorry. I just put on like an affect that is so fake. Let me be real again. That was like such a weird affect. I think that the unique power that she has directed towards an audience member has towards her, because influencers are not like other types of job. Influencers are a publicly mandated and publicly like fired career. You having any prominence, if let's say that Pixie goes on a date with some guy that she meets through this interviewing process, let's ignore the other guys, but let's talk about she goes in and is you're worried at all that guy, the guy that she ends up choosing, that he is at a weird position where he's not allowed to be totally open when he has a criticism of her, because she can always just be like, well, by the way, I could leave you for all these different guys.
No, it's not just that is there too. But another thing is he's emotionally handicapped where he is going to be it'll be harder for him to even muster his actual criticism of her because he looks up to her. So he is used to having a one-sided relationship where it all comes from her and he internalizes it and then absorbs it within himself and then deals with it in himself. And so he's used to a relationship with this person where it all comes in one direction and it doesn't go in the other direction. So like to have a relationship with a fan, you would have to really make so much space just to teach them how to be your equal.
I think that you're assuming a couple of things out of Pixie and out of this person. But I just think Pixie would reject that. I think most people, and not even because I know who she is, but I'm just saying most people would, if somebody was too much of a pushover, it would be a turnoff. If she's a person who wants to abuse and exploit the men she's with, it doesn't matter whether or not she's pulling from her audience pool or if she's pulling from the public, she's going to find a simp, she's going to find a pushover. But most people don't want that kind of pushover. That's gross. That's okay. Not attractive. It's definitely not attractive in men. Yeah,
but you don't. So that's the thing. Like, you don't know what I'm saying this just as an extension. Maybe you do, but it's as if you don't know what it's like to be a people pleaser. Because I am such a people pleaser, and I've been working on this quite a bit, and I'm making a lot of great progress. But I'm such a people pleaser that I know that you need that pushback from me, and I know exactly how much to do. And just to fill that for you, and it's never for me. It's only for you. So like that's like people are like, so there's plenty of people like that, and I feel like you are very likely to people please like people that you are a fan of.
I see what you're saying, but at the same time, I think that maybe if somebody is uniquely skilled at it, but then it wouldn't be Pixie's fault. the burden here is on the thought that what Pixie is doing has unique responsibility, but the people pleaser has responsibility towards their emotional pattern, not the people they date. They owe them nothing. That, especially if you're good at concealing the fact that you're a people pleaser, you're lying, and you're the type of person who's not getting rejected for your.
It's not lying. It's concealing.
Totally your fault. It is okay. Lying, concealing. I use both words. I don't care.
Sure. And, I mean, but we're talking about me here, so I need to defend myself. Okay.
Okay. Well, defend yourself all you want. Okay. How about this? If you're a people pleaser, that's your fault. Number one.
Sure. No. It's probably your parents' fault.
No. I'm okay. If you're an adult, fault maybe no. How about this? It's your responsibility over anybody else to break from that pattern.
Sure, but I think that so there are people like that, and I've been breaking from that pattern. It's really hard. And that's a whole fucking other thing. And my fucking video is going to be about that. But it's not just that. It's like you have a responsibility to your fans because there are vulnerable people like that. And so that's why I said it's also dangerous to. I can hear an echo a little bit.
People just because they're vulnerable.
I can hear a little bit echo. It's not just dangerous to. They're vulnerable to her, and she's also vulnerable to them. So like there are going to be people that, will be that really manipulative people pleaser type person, and they're gonna show her exactly what she wants to see, and she's gonna think that but it's actually going to be like a completely hollow relationship. I hear an echo.
I don't know what to tell you, man. I use speakers. I can try turning my gate up. That's all I can do. Because I've turned you down as much as I can, and still hear you.
Whatever.
Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah. I don't think that in dating she has a higher responsibility to people because they are vulnerable than she has, and than they have over their own vulnerability, and then she has towards creating like finding love. I think that she
that's not the thing.
Her actions more.
It's not that you have the responsibility in dating. It's you have the responsibility having as a public figure with fans. You have a responsibility not to take advantage of vulnerable fans.
Okay, I want to do a mental experiment. So on a scale of 1 to 10, where 1 is a person who has no online presence, like maybe they have a profile but it has no name and no picture, and then 10 is Shaquille O'Neal or somebody like uber famous, the most famous you could be, where do you think Pixie is?
Like on a number of 1 to 100 or 1 to 10?
1 to 10. 1 to 10. I want a simple enough number. Round it to the tens place.
Like 0.1 or 0.2.
You think that she's very, very not famous? I said 1 to 10, so you've gone less.
Well, okay. I was going by 0 to 10.
10 is the most famous.
Okay, it's 1.2. No, like the difference between Trump and Pixie is like not even. But like that's the thing. I don't think it matters because having fans is having fans, and having people that like look up to you and stuff. Like it doesn't matter how big you are. The bigness means that you have more responsibility because there are more people that you have like this effect over, and also you actually like wield more power. But just having fans, like somebody was asking me in the waiting room, like if you were a dancer and you perform like once in a while, and you have 50 people that routinely will come to watch you perform, those are your fans. And if you like give them say you have a newsletter that you give to them to tell them where you're going to perform, and then this newsletter is like, by the way, fill out this about yourself, and I want to see if one of you guys I can date. That'd be like that'd be a bad way to engage with your fans.
Okay, I'm gonna take a hot shot at this, and I want to break your brain. This might make you feel bad for the rest of your life. I warn people when I talk about this. No, men are not ready for this conversation. Men are not aware of the world that women live in. So
okay,
you're not
you've
gonna
hyped it up. Okay.
Did you know that? Do you know that when women go to shows, stand-up comedy shows, music shows, anything where there's someone famous that they know, that they have probably a higher than 50% chance of sleeping with the person that they are going to that show? They're aware of it, and many of them do try to date that person, try to have sex with them at the minimum, and do accomplish it.
With the person they're going with?
No, the person that they're going to the show to see.
If they go like alone?
Even if they go with friends. I have a friend, former roommate, who has had sex with multiple famous stand-up comedians. She's not attractive. I'm not going to be rude. She is a 3 or 4 out of 10. She's not. But here's the thing. Pussy is pussy. And where a woman is and where a famous man is are way closer, especially on the sexual one-off,
Why is this going to scar me?
They're way closer than people recognize. Huh?
Sure, yeah, but why is this
If you're a woman and you go to a stand-up show and you try to have sex with the person who just told the jokes, you have a higher than 50% chance that he will say yes.
Oh yeah, like a woman is like, a woman is like a fucking like Big Mac. It's like if you show up at my doorstep with a Big Mac, like this, I'm not saying that this is like good. I mean, I'm a feminist, goddammit. But I mean, this is the way it is. Like a woman is like a Big Mac. Okay, if you show up at my doorstep with a Big Mac and you're like, "Do you want this?" I'm like, "Yeah, I want a Big Mac."
Now,
but like,
let's say that you are a person who is a Big Mac. No matter where you go, if you try to have sex with somebody, you're very likely to be able to do it. If you try to have a relationship with somebody, you're at least likely to give it a go, get a yes, and then maybe it'll fall apart in a couple of weeks when you realize that he's not that into you or something. To then say that person reaching out into their audience, what's happening, men merely being content creators is seen as an invitation for women to try to have sex with them. Women being content creators, because we think of them as this big holy thing that you can't try, that they're unattainable, we look at females that are making, art and such as this unattainable thing. Women see men that are doing that as totally attainable because women by default are able to attain every man more.
A better example, I would like. I'm not. This is not this. I've been here. Like I'm already fucking scarred by this shit. Like I think of birds. Or it's any animal, but birds is a good example. So many birds. Like the female. She's like the female bird is much less like striking appearing, and the male bird has to like do a dance and really like impress the female, and they like often will do like a little dance and stuff, and more than not, the female will just turn away and reject them, and they'll be there like the meme like let me smash or whatever, the bird.
Well, a woman, a female has more market value because men have the testosterone, sex drive. It's easier to convince that.
It's not just that. No. It goes even more fundamental. The large gametes are irreplaceable. The small gametes are replaceable. The small gametes can impregnate a shit ton of women, but so that's why we evolved this way. Like the women, like have to, like fundamentally, large gamete has to be more selective, and the small
sexual
gamete
selectivity is evolved. I don't disagree with you at all.
Right.
But what I'm trying to say is that when you see someone like Pixie putting herself out there, I think the thing that really offends people is the fact that a woman is using a form of sexo-social technology that men use all the time, and people are mad that women are using that when they already have the natural born advantage.
That's not it. Actually, my assumption about this was that, and my feeling about this is that it would be more upsetting to people if it was a man. Like if the first name that came to mind is Steven Crowder, just randomly in my mind, and even though he's gay, like let's say like Steven Crowder, I'm just thinking of like a conservative guy,
Sure.
Like he's
one of
like
the more obvious ones would probably be something like Seinfeld.
Myron
gets criticized. Huh?
Myron from Fresh and Fit. Let's say that Myron puts out a list. If you are like, because he's got shielding because he's like the red pill guy, but we'd all be like offended if he was like, hey, if you got big tits, D, and you got blonde hair and you're white and you're this tight, we would all be like,
Sure.
you're disgusting. Like why are you like, and you're taking advantage of these women because they just want access.
If you're fat, that people don't like you're fat. If you're black, that people don't like that you're black. This entire idea that someone will be insecure because the person that they have a crush on has as stated outwardly that
Okay.
who they are
I'd
is
love to
not
go
their
into
type,
this.
that they would be take the Dr. Omar pill. If you're black and you feel bad that your content creator says they're not into black people, I'm sorry, leave that snow buddy behind.
No,
You need to love
that's
your
not
melanin, bro.
No, that's not okay. I agree. Like there's a lot of that element to it, like the way you're saying it. But so I don't really generally have a problem like saying like things that I'm into, but like when it's like exclusionary, like I leave that to like private conversations generally. Like sometimes it ends up happening in these conversations, but I just think it's when you're, and black people do know, like black women know that like they're like less men are like attracted to them because they're black.
Yeah, they're the bottom. They know that.
And like they know that, but
Just
like
Just like short men.
when you say it, then it keeps like perpetuating it. Like I think like is a social thing. This is not like a person to person thing. Like I'm affecting this one like black person. Like I think it does make people feel shitty. But like so like the reason that black people get so triggered, not all black people, but like but when they hear the N-word,
the ones that do, sure.
when they hear the N-word is because when someone says the N-word hard R, to them it feels like they're saying all the racism that's true. It's all correct. Everything that I think about you is true. And that's what they're hearing. And when you're like kind of reinforcing that, because they like, if you are black, I would assume that you really don't want to be seen as less attractive because you're black. And for someone to be like, yeah, actually, even if you do feel that way, like you can't help it if you have preferences, but it's just, it's not benefit. It's really unkind to like keep putting that out there. I think just don't put it out there, man. That's how I feel.
I get what you're saying. Maybe I just don't believe in this duty to kindness, because I do think that it's okay to tell. Like I think it's okay for a person to go out there and say no fats, no femmes, no F slurs. You know, you could just say whatever you like. It's okay to say that, because those people, anybody that you're insulting, you're saving them a bunch of time, because you're not prime candidate for it. If
sure.
I don't want to date somebody who says, you know what I hate? I hate fruity men. No, but I need to filter straight down too.
No, but the thing is public figures saying it. So like for example, like Trump, like a president, like Trump has had, just being like a narcissist, he has had a major impact on like culture. Like we've like the United States has like become more narcissistic since he's been the president, because that's the norm. And that, like, so like if Trump says that like black women are ugly, then that is going to actually impact like culture like a lot. It's not the same as just some random person.
Sure. But does that mean that he has any responsibility to not say it? I don't think so.
I think so. I mean, but look, like I'm not going to say that you can't.
You know what? In the case of Trump, maybe, because I think an elected figure I can agree with a little bit more, because at least with an elected figure, but he's shooting himself in the foot, frankly, if he were to say that, because some percentage of people that are voting for him are black. Some of them are black women. It's very small, because obviously black women are primarily Democrat voters, but nonetheless, Trump is shooting himself in the foot, and he's making he's exposing the game a bit much. And some people do like the decorum. They do like the politeness of a high society man. So he's also like but here's the thing. Why did Trump appeal to the populace? Is because he recognized that there is a large amount of the population that just wants somebody to drop the hard R, just wants somebody to do the retard impersonation and say, oh, you know, these BLM protesters and these white supremacists, they're bad people on both sides. Like, that is what he's selling, because the market was already there. In the same way, everybody already knows that black people are less pursued. Asians and white people are the most pursued. Fat people are less pursued. Fat women still get dick.
Look. Okay, I get. Okay, that's why this wasn't my main point. Someone else came in and they started going after this point. That's why this wasn't my main point. Like, I don't think it's like actually your responsibility. It's just shitty. Like it like, so like it's something like I feel like I wouldn't want to do, but like I'm not gonna I mean, I do see that when I see someone listing their preferences. But like, it's just shit. Like when you list your preferences to your fans, then they're all going to compare themselves to that, and I just think it's unhealthy for them. And you've like, so let's say that you are an influencer and you say that this computer is good or whatever. Like if you're a tech guy, right? You say that this computer is good. People will take that. If you're a woman and you say this is what a good man is, that has an impact on all the males that follow you, and so they're going to internalize that. And
so you think that people have a responsibility towards the health and safety of the people that look up to them?
Yes.
What if I want to harm them? What if that's what my goal is?
I think if you're honest, I'm cool with it.
Sure. Well, then that's an interesting. What if you simply don't care? Because I don't think that Pixie is going around pretending that she's.
I think she's a good person.
Like,
I think she's a very good person. Like she's
just
like,
a normal person though. Like she's not walking around pretending to be Mother Teresa, is she?
I don't know. I think that she's like. I don't know. She seems like the type of person that's like overflowing with kindness, like to her own detriment. You know what I mean? Like I feel like she could easily get taken advantage of. That's how I feel about her. I don't know.
And okay, you brought me to another thing that I wanted to put, which is that I do actually think that the amount of vulnerability that she is putting on the line is the same amount, if not more, than what she would be requesting of any of her fans if they reached out to date her through this like application. She is saying, as a woman online, I am lonely enough that I am looking publicly. I'm making a call out announcement. That is such a level of vulnerability. Also, so much about her is known. You could Google so much shit about her before going on a first date with her. She's like, I think that there's a dearth of information out there about the average person that she dates. She's not going to find much about them. Like, I just don't. I see this inequality as not being linear. I see it as being bimodal. They have advantage over her. She has advantage over them, and that's true of all relationships. Women always have an advantage over men, and men always have an advantage over women.
Yeah. In terms of that's why I said she could get hurt too. So she is. That's why I think that putting that out there puts her at risk because they have that advantage over her. But there's two things. There's that so. I think that the way that she's doing that puts her in risk of being taken advantage of, and I also think that what she's doing causes her fans to have an unhealthy relationship with her.
Do you have I'm moving back a little bit because I think that, do you think that people by default have a debt towards the vulnerable unless they at some point publicly announce that they are a person whose intent with their content is to harm? Like the default is that you have a responsibility towards care. And then if you, in your public persona, make it very clear, like, by the way, I'm Sneeko, then you don't have that debt anymore.
Ethan Ralph would be a better example. Like
even Ralph would probably be better. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, if you were somebody, like, you're like, if you go into this chat, you might get doxxed. Like that's the type of person. I actually just, I think that you don't,
I still think it's bad.
Maybe it's, I mean,
it's just like at least if you're honest about it, people can like read the signs, and be prepared. But if you're not honest about it, and it's just like I think you have, when you are a public figure or an influencer, I think that so you are often talking about how we are just intellectually masturbating. Okay. But I think that I mean, I have 7 people in my chat right now on YouTube, I think. And the VOD will be watched by like a couple hundred, maybe like 300. Okay. And I think that some number of people will be affected to some extent. And for me, it's not that high, and it just gets higher. But I think that you have
a responsibility over whether or not Oliver at the end of their transition says the hard R or says the soft A. Something like that. You just pick somebody
Yeah,
random.
so
There's at least one person. It just takes one life that we have a strong influence over in order for your argument to work.
well, no,
Sure.
well,
Your
but I'm saying,
prerequisite is that we have like
wait, hold on.
influence over them.
Yeah, but like it's like everyday people, we have influence over each other. When you say random things, it's a butterfly effect. It's chaos of culture. Culture's fucking chaos. Okay, but so you could have any influence on people, but as an influencer, you actually I think you have to be conscientious of the impact that you have on people, and like so. If you know that your content might have a negative impact, you should be honest about that. If you otherwise, I think you should try to be like responsible, and you should acknowledge when you're not being responsible. That's the important thing to me.
I just don't think
That's why I kind of like Ethan Ralph, because he does that. He'll never.
I have no problem with not being responsible. I have I'm a bit weirded out by the idea that it's by default. Grace would like to join the conversation if you are comfortable with it. Flip a coin and see how it makes your heart feel.
No.
You want to say no? She's in the chat, so she can hear you.
I know. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
I'll add her to the thing.
Okay. Okay, Grace.
Okay, let me. Actually, because you called me, you have to invite her, I think, is how this one works. Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
I mean, Grace is a good case example as well, in that, like, a lot of Grace's public existence is potentially against her will. Like, at least to a strong degree, she doesn't have a choice to which degree she, by default, is publicly known.
Where do I do this?
Here. You know what we can do is we can start a new call. Start a new call.
Yeah.
Start a 3-way call, and we'll do it that way.
Yeah, start a group thing. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Pop this out. Hello, Grace.
How are we doing, Grace? By the way, I muted the voice chat once y'all started shouting like crazy. How long did it take before that motherfucker banned you?
No, okay, so Smeth, I wanted to talk to you on Wick's panel. I went backstage, and some guy just starts talking shit like, "Oh, Grace, I hope all that family stuff is fake, but if it's real, I hope you find help." And I was like, "I hope you find the barrel of a shotgun and shove it down your throat, right?" Whatever. And then when he calls a mod in there, and he's like, "Did you just tell someone to kill themselves?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "All right, well, I suggest we don't do that in the future." Okay. And I was like, "Okay."
I mean, that's like, look, the reason people have these rules, like, out of self-protection, like, obvious, like, yeah.
I get it. Also, it's like, I do think a warning makes sense. And frankly,
No, but I didn't do anything after the
warning.
warning. I didn't do anything after the warning. And they I didn't do anything after the warning, and they just banned me for no reason.
They decided afterwards. They gave a warning. She didn't reoffend, and then they did ban her, which was
it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
I don't know. Whatever. Who cares? Wick will probably unban you because it's kind of weird to just like have a prominent figure just be banned for one slip up that you agreed to a warning on, but it's not
prominent figure. I like that.
Prominent figure. Congratulations, you're getting gassed up. By the way, here's the question, Grace. On average, okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, where do you place yourself in terms of the fame scale? With number 1 being just the homeless man.
How about Smeth as 1?
Smeth can be 2. I'm gonna put Smeth on 2.
All right. Yeah,
a homeless man in the middle of the street with no family and no relevance. That's 1. And then 10 is like,
Okay, wait, hold on.
Jesus Christ.
I gotta say something I thought of that I didn't,
10 is
because
Jesus Christ.
we already moved on. That scale is like misleading because like Pixie is in the 99th percentile of like popularity like among human beings, and like and the scale only really because like most people are still going to be 1.
Excuse me, can I put a pause on your scale there? It is extremely unreasonable and misleading. First of all, continue.
Everybody's going to be 1, and like only like
you think that every single number has to be determined by percentage of people in the population. Does that have to work that way? It's
no. I'm just saying that
just
it's
a scale. We're just having a conversation.
I'm just saying that the way the data is presented is misleading because it makes it seem like so 99% of people are all going to be on 1.
Man,
all
you know what I'm asking.
I'm just want to point out.
Okay, how about Smith is a 2 and like Jordan Peterson is a 10? I would say
Jordan Peterson's like a 9. I think Jesus Christ gets the 10 slot.
Jordan Peterson's at 8.
Well, social
Osama
media
bin
presence.
Laden is a good 9. That's a good fat healthy 9. Because you probably don't know who Osama bin Laden is if you're Japanese. Keep talking.
So yeah, he's like a 7.
I don't know, maybe it's
just not relevant to them.
3 or a 4, maybe.
You're like a 3 or 4. Where do you think the average woman is in America?
The average streamer woman, or just the average?
Just a woman with an Instagram who is decently attractive, not a hog.
I would say your average Instagram girl probably has like 1,000 followers. That's what I had in high school. So like a 1.
You think it's a 1? I think that men are like a 1. Streamer men are like a 2. Your average woman is a 2, and then streamer women are all like 3 to 6, depending on how much popularity they have. 7 is where you break into real fame. Like I think that there's such a degree. Women are just like, if they're not a 2, it's because they haven't marketed themselves. I think most women can become more famous than your average guy if they just didn't have their profile set to private. They were willing to call the cops when someone's stalking them. It's just like,
I mean, probably. I think you're assuming women are more attractive on average than they probably are.
Men are more desperate than women on average, is what I would say. Like they're more reply guys than are reply girls. Like people will just follow a chick.
Well, I've had several, like Smeth was talking about, like dating a fan. I've had several people reach out to me. Usually it's like, is incest your kink or is that just your sexual orientation? But every once in a while, it's like a guy who's like, hey, we should hang out sometime. And I would say it's a big problem as a relationship. There's no way that that's going to be normal. I wouldn't say it's bad for the girl or the guy. I just think it's a crazy setup. It's
not going to be your average relationship. I'm not denying that. If Pixie finds somebody through this, it's probably going to be, and here's what I'd say, the relationship between like Destiny and Melina, it's not normal, but it's functional. It's 2 people that are online that were well known by and knew too much about one another probably from the get-go. Like they knew how many people like them, how many people care about them. It's like, but like you're not necessarily, if you're a famous person, you're not looking for an average relationship because you're probably not going to be able to get one. Eventually that person's going to realize that you're famous, whether or not you admit it on the 5th date or you say it on the 1st date, and they're going to get weirded out, or it's going to create this weird dynamic. Like, I don't know if you can have
dynamic. I think a relationship has to be equal. So I think you have to see yourself as equals, not
inside of the relationship. I agree.
Higher than the other one.
Do you think that, let's say that you go on a date with a guy. Imagine for a moment that you don't have like people knocking your door down asking you about incest. Just imagine you're just like an average girl going on a date with a guy, and then like 5 dates in, he says, by the way, I do this thing, it's whatever. You go online, you find out he's got 100,000 followers. Before that and after that, do you think that the relationship has become more or less possible for you to see one another as equals? Do you think you still date that guy after that? Or like, what do you think?
I would say it would be very different after that. I would just say, I mean, it seems kind of weird to keep it secret. I mean,
Sure.
No, I think it seems like smart
I think
to
the
keep it
dynamic would be
secret.
very different.
Well, this
then
is the thing.
Just
would
for a
be a
while,
major
because then
part of his
because then you
life,
have then you have a brief moment where you're only seeing as each other's equals, and he knows that in that brief moment you're not trying to get something out of him. So like I think that's a good, healthy beginning.
It's better for him, but here's the thing, Smith, if the thing that you're saying is that the person who has more power, theoretically, the person who has more popularity, more resources, if you're saying that that person is the one with the moral responsibility,
No, it's not just good for her. It's not
Can I
just good for
finish my
him.
statement?
Okay. Go.
Thank you.
Yeah, shut up, Smith.
Fucking son of a bitch.
You little pervert.
Nothing has changed for the guy. Nothing has changed for the guy. The guy is aware. The guy has that fame. He has that power over her. Theoretically, if he's hiding it versus he shares it, what's really affecting is what's happening to her internally. But if he has a responsibility, not because, oh, she's a fan and she's so invested in this, like those are some circumstances. But if he, just by the fact that he is a public figure, if that's enough, then I think, hiding it is worse. Hiding it is worse.
No.
Hiding it makes it better for him, but it's worse for her.
Okay, but I think it can go both ways. But hiding it also has the benefit of, so like say you have 2 dates where you're still hiding it. If he never hides it, there's gonna be pressure on her because of like she might feel insecure or like she has to people please him. And if they establish a little bit of the relationship without that, then their relationship will be defined outside of the fact that he has power. So their relationship is defined as if they were equals first, and I think that's healthy.
I just think it would be weird for somebody who has a major online presence
Sure.
to just want somebody who wouldn't know anything about that. I think
That's true.
usually people in media are attracted to other people in media. Who
Yeah,
that's true.
understand. It'd be
That's
weird
true.
because it'd be like a lawyer just like going and like trying to find like a farm girl. It's like almost like a
don't know.
fetishization. Like you
I don't
you
know.
want somebody who can relate to you.
Grace,
I don't know.
I'm going to ask you because I think we're constantly saying the male dating a woman, but I think that's because it's easier to think of men as predators and doing a bad thing. Grace, how many dates in with a guy that you meet that you don't meet through the online presence? Like you just bump into him and he asks you out. You're not even pursuing a guy in that way, but he asks you out. You say yes. How many dates in are you going to go before you say, by the way, a lot of people think that I am the victim of like massive incest, and like how many dates would you go?
It would be like the first date. I'm
First
telling
date.
somebody that I'm on
Icebreaker.
YouTube. First date.
You're like, by the way, before the tapas hits the table.
Yeah, I think I
Just
would tell people
know.
first date too. I think that's the way to go. Honesty is
Probably,
always the way to go.
I would, if we got into it, I'd probably like class it up a little bit by saying like my family sort of has been streaming on YouTube for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, what's interesting? I went to Seattle and I met this kind of hot like 40-year-old guy at the top of a water tower when I was visiting a girl there.
Sure.
And he lives in Boston. And so I was like, you're like a silver fox or whatever. So he gives me his Instagram. And then I DM him on Instagram. I actually sent him the documentary on YouTube about my family called like The Most Insane Family on YouTube or whatever. And I was like, yeah, so this is like the documentary I was telling you about. And he responds and he was like, interesting. Anyways, do you ever come over to Boston? You should come by sometime. I know a lot of nice, quiet spots. So I don't think it really matters to men.
Most
now,
guys
to
do.
be honest.
Most guys, I'm gonna tell you right now. Most guys are they're like, this chick's got some baggage. I'm not gonna watch this video. That's what they're gonna say. They're gonna be like, I'm not watching the fucking video. Because you're gonna tell me about it later anyway. That's what he's assuming.
Maybe, yeah.
Why read the documentation?
Snooping than men are. Women
Why read
snoop
it?
more than men. Period. You know this. Don't lie, purple skin man.
Women snoop more than men?
Yes, every woman.
Yeah, well, like,
snoops
yeah,
before-
but they-
before
I
the
think if
first date.
any
Grace,
guy met a girl who was on YouTube, he would look at her channel and stuff.
he would look,
think-
but like, would he watch all the videos and think questions? Be like, who has she dated? That takes like such a level of energy that most guys don't have to like snoop. I think most guys.
I don't agree. Like
you-
you're just That's like I mean, this doesn't apply to me because like I would snoop just
You're
as much.
such
I would
a liar. You guys are both liars. Both of
I
you
would
have
snoop.
been like heavily invested in like Mr. Girl. Yeah, okay. Smeth's not a liar. TunaChip is a liar. You
How am I a
stream
liar?
in the YouTube drama sphere. Of course, you're interested in digging. You would totally dig.
Into a woman that I'm dating?
100%. Yes.
It depends, or the thing that changes it is what kind of
Grace,
dating
I have
market
no
you're
idea
applying.
what the
What
situation
it
is
depends
with
what kind of
Anybody
dating.
wants to ask
Shut
you
up.
out on a
It
date with
depends
this
what
unlikely.
it depends what kind of dating market you're applying yourself to. Because if you are doing the numbers game, then like so let's say that you're the type of guy that's messaging because sometimes you have to messaging like 50 women on Tinder, then you're not fucking snooping. There's that you don't have the time. But if you are a streamer and like another streamer girl like message you and stuff, that's not like you're going through 50 streamer girls all the time. Then you're gonna snoop. You have the time. It's more significant.
My girlfriend is a musician. She's got like 6,000 monthly, not big, but 6,000 monthly on Spotify. I have never once even looked at any of her social media profiles. So I might be weird in this degree.
That's weird.
I don't care.
That's
Why would
really
I?
strange.
Why would I care? I don't want to know anything
Well-
about her life that doesn't happen between me and her. If
Well-
she shares it with me, then I care. But if she doesn't share it with me, I don't get the impulse to snoop. I thought that was a man thing, but it might be a me thing.
Well, aren't
I
you
just-
both like? Wouldn't you both work together to help your careers? Like you're both kind of doing the same thing, sharing. your
Yeah, but
stuff
I'll
online.
help her with graphic design. We'll talk to each other about marketing stuff. But I don't go to her social media profile. I don't read her comments. I'll listen to her songs. Like I do I do like the workshop stuff. I don't think about like what are people saying about you online. That feels weird to me.
But when you met
Well-
her, did you ask her like for her Instagram, and then if she gave it to you, or
No.
did you ask her about her what she does, and then she said she was a TikTok
No,
musician or whatever it is?
No, I saw. I mean, she shared that stuff with me. I wouldn't have asked.
No,
Well, but I mean,
it's okay.
you ask her where she works, right? Or what?
No,
she
I
does.
didn't. I mean, I don't ask those questions.
I'm going to go on a date with Grace here, okay?
Right.
And she's a musician, okay?
Oh, I see. Okay.
Okay.
You,
Yeah.
you and your
Role-play
fucking
time.
father have been trying to like get me to weird like date you.
I've
Okay,
been
so
waiting
I'm
for this
fulfilling your
moment for
I'm
months,
fulfilling your
Seth.
fucking fantasy by giving you this
Yes.
thought experiment. Okay, but
Yes.
let's say that you're a musician and I'm going to be going on a date with you. I want like first of all I'm gonna be like, okay, you're a musician. My first thought is gonna be, are you any fucking good? Okay, because like so I'm absolutely
That was
really gonna
hunty,
I'm
yes.
going to want to know. I'm gonna take a listen to your songs and be like, how much should I like when you say you're a musician? I actually want to know how much I should respect your authority. Because if you're actually really talented, that's like wow, like okay, like this is awesome. If you're not talented, but you present yourself as talented, then it's like oh, you're like some douchebag like that. Like you know, I don't want to placate you and pretend that you're like some like better than you are. Like I want someone who knows how good they are. If you say that you're like a great musician or you're good or you're talented or whatever, like I want to know where that skill level is, how much it meets your like presentation, and I'd like to know what your skills are. Like yeah, these are important things.
Actually, so like we're at the bar or whatever. Like, hey, yeah. So yeah, actually, I'm a pretty good musician. Could sing you something right now if you wanted.
Sing you
This
something right
margarita's good
now.
for you.
Sing it, Grace.
You ready? Despacito, quiero respirar tu cuello despacito. Deja que te digas cosas al oído. Para que te acuerdes y no estás conmigo. Despacito, quiero desnudarte de besos despacito. Firmar las paredes de tu laberinto. Y hacer tu cuerpo de un manuscrito. Sube, sube, sube. Oh, oh, quiero ver bailar tu pelo. Quiero ser tu ritmo. Que le enseñes a mi boca tus lugares favoritos.
Yeah,
favorito,
separate checks.
favorito, baby.
Separate checks, please.
Do you like that? See, I'm pretty good. I told you.
You're all right. You're all right. Yeah, you're all right. Yeah, I would say that like my assessment would be that you've got some skill. If you sang every day, you could probably be a singer. And but like the main thing I would get is that you've got like the energy you're able to put into it is that you're a performer and you have that skill set.
Nice. So, like, you want to go back to my place or what?
No.
Fuck you.
Got his
Wait, I have
ass,
a question
got his
though.
ass.
If a guy was just to meet me, I think my history online kind of adds like a charisma, if you know what I mean. Like if somebody met me, either they're just gonna be a normie and they're gonna be like, what the fuck? Or they're gonna look at it and they're gonna be like, okay, she's got issues, but that makes her hotter. Am
How
I
much-
right? Is that a thing that
No,
I think
I
guys
would-
that's a
I-
secret about guys. More
I would be
damage, hotter. Your thoughts?
Some guys, yeah, some guys, yes, but I would be thinking, how much is your dad going to be involved in my relationship with you if we date? That's what I would be thinking.
Well, but don't guys generally like girls who are close to their dads?
Not like that.
Really? You wouldn't want to like meet him and like say like, hey,
I mean, he
I've,
seems alright,
you know, I've
but
gotten
like,
to know your daughter.
I don't want like
You
a
tell your dad
manager.
about most
I don't.
guys or whatever.
Are
I
most
wouldn't.
guys interested in like are they aren't they relationship between the no, that most guys, that's the exact opposite of what they want.
You think most guys want a girl who's like disconnected from her dad and having a lot of casual
No,
sex? and,
not
like,
disconnected.
male validation?
I mean, genitally, yes, disconnected genitally. That's what they want. They don't want there to be ambiguity about whether or not incest has happened, and
Okay,
that is like
okay, but if a guy had to choose between a girl who, let's say, has been like a super slut during college and is like worn out, right, hot dog in a hallway, versus a girl who like had a sort of damaging relationship, let's just hypothetically, an interesting relationship with her dad that may have had some, you know, flaws. Which one would you if you had to pick? The average guy.
I think the average guy would rather have a woman who was quote unquote ran through than somebody who he can guarantee for a fact has sexual trauma. Because
But
one of them is
being
like
run
a big
through is sexual trauma. Hello.
I don't want
Have you
women
ever met a
with.
girl who's had a lot of casual sex?
One is a Bayesian likelihood, and the other one is guaranteed.
I
The other
don't.
one is
well,
guaranteed.
No, no,
did you,
no,
are you
I'll
saying
tell you
you
what's
want
guaranteed.
women with sexual trauma?
No,
Sexual
on
trauma
average,
is
guys
guaranteed if you're run through. Guaranteed for a woman. There's
No.
no way it's not possible.
sexual trauma is guaranteed for a woman. Is that what you said?
If she's run through, absolutely. That's a nightmare.
I don't think it's as guaranteed as if a woman has been molested. I think that molested is higher, and that's what
Define
people are assuming of
molestation.
you,
We're
right?
saying not no, I don't think people are assuming molestation because everybody would say this happened. Well, I don't know when they would say it happened, between the ages of 16 and 20, I guess. It's not
Sure.
exactly molestation.
Okay, how about this? Incestuous sex. It doesn't matter what the word is. Most people would assume that
Would
is
you
worse.
rather have, let's say, a girl who like there are rumors about her having sex with her brother versus a girl who has who you know has been run through, like the college hoe? Which one?
I want women with experience. I don't think like fucking pearly things is wrong. I want women that have had experience. I don't like being their fucking sexual like teacher. I want them to know what they want. I want them to know how to come. I want them to have like I want them to know what they want so they can fucking come at me and get it from me.
You got a lot of the taps on the shoulders there. You need them to know how to do it themselves.
Yeah.
You're just lying. No guy wants a girl with a ton of sexual experience. Maybe not a virgin all the time. But
They don't want it, but the question is not about that. The question is, do they care about that more than they care about the fact that every time that they go on a date with somebody, everybody in the room is saying, you know, she fucked your brother, right? They don't want that. The public image of that
everybody
is worse.
says that. It's a meme. Andrew Wilson said you guys made a fake incest story for clout. It's a meme. Like,
I'm not
okay,
clear.
yeah,
I'm not
hardcore
disagreeing.
group of-
Hey,
So
Grace,
I'm saying
I'm not saying that it's real.
people are
I'm not
like,
saying that it's real. I'm
"Oh my
saying
God."
that when a guy is walking around in public with his girlfriend, would he rather everybody be whispering about, hey, she was a slut in college, or hey, she had sex with her brother? They're gonna care more about the latter. They're gonna care way more about the latter.
Really? So they would prefer if people said like,
is
you know, she
considered.
fucked like 50 guys in college versus like.
I think that
you know,
your
she did
brother is
something
worth
weird with her
about 200
brother.
bodies. I think your brother is 200 bodies.
Really? Wow, that's interesting.
I think it's heavily weighted. Yeah, people
If you're
do
both
not
like
like incest.
consensual, I'm not a fan of incest. I think it's disordered, but I'm just saying, comparatively speaking.
Okay.
I would not think the same of a guy. I'd be like,
Well,
if he said like they were the same age or close in age and it was a mistake, I would be like, I could see it. You know, people make mistakes.
let's say Smeth here. I mean, look at the outfit, look at the glasses. It's not going to be hard for you to imagine. Let's say Smeth has had sex with 100 women, and then now it's just feel the emotions. Feel the emotions flow through you. Now imagine Smeth has had sex with his sister. What was the emotional change in your heart? Were you like, oh, well, at least he hasn't had sex with 100 women. It's different. It's different.
If a guy, if he told me and he was like, look, you know, just something you should know about me. I did this thing with my sister, like when we were teenagers. It was weird, but like I've always felt bad about it. I would 100% be more attracted to him because I'd be like, that sucks. You've been through some rough stuff. Me too.
Yeah, but you're biased too, though.
True.
Yes, I like
You're not the average
damaged men
woman.
as
You're not
well.
the average woman. True.
I like damaged. Every girl likes a damaged guy, though, if he's a little bit vulnerable.
What kind of damage? What kind of damage, though? I don't think they want that damage.
Mommy issues, but like, yeah, you got a little too horny and something happened in your family. And I don't think most girls, if he was, as long as he's not like, yeah, it was great, I pounded away. If he was like, you know, vulnerable, it'd be like if he said like I don't know, I heated up a rotisserie chicken and had sex with it. It's like silly, you know, people getting sexual stuff all the time.
Say it. Say it right now. What's the worst thing that you've done? The most disordered sexual experience you ever had, Smeth? And let's see if it turns Grace off.
Oh, I've heard a couple.
It's hard.
Colored pencils up the ass being one.
That's just normal.
He's an artist.
I don't know. Yeah, I've done weird shit. I don't know. Like some of these stories I'm saving. It's not the right moment for good story time.
If you had to if you're trying to red flag a woman, I think that you would be better off mentioning a depraved single instance than a number. If you want to turn off a man, probably a number more than a depraved instance, because most men they're kind of turned on by the idea that a girl's done something fucked up.
Exactly.
But women are different. Women are a bit different. And I also think
the thing about Smeth that's a turnoff is not so much his sexual history, depraved as it is, but it's sort of like the overall, for a guy who's done so much weird sexual stuff, it's like the absolute lack of like energy or masculinity or like, you know, that sort of like charisma, that charisma. You know what I mean?
Some charisma.
Well, it's sort of like, you know, it's like a 3 out of 10 on the energy scale. The sort of like masculinity scale.
I'm low energy right now. What can I say? I'm absolutely low energy right now.
Can you imagine him like bending anybody, like slamming anyone against the wall? Like no.
You know why I'm low energy with you is because you're like such a memer that I get higher energy when like someone's like talking about something I'm passionate about. But like I feel like I'm not even having a fucking conversation. So
energy levels increase exponentially when I'm talking about something that I am passionate
and
about.
I just get drained.
Versus the memers.
I just get drained. I can't fucking talk to you.
You don't have a good sense of humor.
You've made me tired. Is that what you're saying right now, Smith?
Yeah.
That he doesn't
Snooze.
have the personality?
It's time for Smith to go to Sweepies now. Nap time.
Yeah, shit like this. Like it's like like I don't get like energized to like fight. I just
Well, that's why you have 5 people watching your stream.
I do get energized to
6,
fight.
Look at you.
If I actually like hated you or something, but like I don't know, like I just think you are funny, but like I don't know.
Thank you, Smith. I like you.
I like you.
But what
I'm
were
not
we
gonna
talking
date you.
about? Do you like me? What were we were? Oh,
I was asking. Okay,
but whores though, man whores are a turn off. Cause look at Darius, right? He's had sex with a lot of women. Now it's not so much that he's like. It's not the same as a virgin for a guy, right? It's not the same thing, but it's kind of like he also doesn't have the capacity to really bond, and it's also a sign that a guy is so weak that he needs to get validation from having sex with women casually. It is a turnoff.
Sure. I'm not going to deny that. I just think that men's values and women's values on this they're not even like mirrored. They're just very, very different.
Look, my values are the right ones, and like the okay, like the generalized female values and the generalized male values are both retarded. I'm sure all of us have better values, like personally, than whatever the stock standard generalized prescription that we have for men. Like we all have like probably a better perspective as a nuanced person. Like for me, like what if a woman has been ran through? She's had sex with like hundreds of people. That for me, I'm like, okay, well, is she actually going to like bond with me? How do I know like what's actually going on? Because like usually people gate the sexual attraction for intimacy, but that's not happening with her. So how do I know what's going on there? And how can I like trust that? So that'd be an extra barrier for me.
Wouldn't you also ask what kind of a person has a lot of sex with other people? Because like, what does that indicate about the person? Well, yeah,
Horny?
obviously, but
Yeah, horny.
I don't think it
I like
really
that.
means
I like
horny.
that.
Why not just?
Okay,
don't they
you're
just
right.
have
It could be-
one
it could
or
be
two
they have
deep
issues.
relationships with a lot of sex.
It could be that they're like a
Definitely means they
sex
have
addict,
issues.
sex addict,
You,
and yeah.
I think a lot of the times the thing that confuses me is that people act like they're impatient about it, like they're not willing to spend the time. Like I would at least go on one date to find out and suss out, and I would trust my own instincts about whether or not this person is like a horny person or if she's just like a BPD girl. And then I would fucking make my choice then. But when people like filter by the number, it feels weird.
You'd have sex with the first piece of pussy that came up to you, wouldn't you? Let's be honest.
Not nowadays. Not time once, of course.
You would have to. You're doing screenings.
Right now, there are people
check your application.
I mean, I'm already.
All right, I'll delete my DM. Hang on.
I'm not open. But I already hit a point of exhaustion. But I just don't think that most guys hit that at the same time that women do. Women get inundated with offers, so I understand why they're choosier. But like guys.
Women. Not all women. You know, it's really not fair when people talk about this because, like, can you imagine being an ugly woman? Can you imagine, honestly, what it must be like? Because guys,
that's what being a man is.
No, that's cope. Because men can be ugly, fat. Women, they'll still have wives. They'll still have girlfriends. If you're an ugly woman, I can really see a woman making the case that it's really not fair. Because, like, even if you're a great cook, great cleaner, great helper, great supporter, all the wifey things, you're just never gonna be valued like someone like me.
I wanted to say this earlier, but like it never came up. But the whole conversation we were having before Grace came in here is like framed around like the getting of sex. Okay, that is like the thing. But like with women, like if you talk to Kidology, for example, she talks about this a lot.
Yeah, let's have the femcel conversation.
Yeah, exactly. It's women don't have a problem getting sex, but like they do have a problem actually getting like meaningful relationships because men just want fucking sex from women, and like so it's if you want to just open up your pussy and let any fucking thing fly right in, you're sure you can do that, but that doesn't mean you're gonna get like a healthy relationship that you're looking for, and that's actually a lot harder for women to find that because when men find sex, there's much more likely chance that when they're ready for a relationship, the woman they're fucking is going to be ready for a relationship. It's not the other way around.
Yeah, but I mean that's so men want sex and then a relationship is also part of it. Women want a relationship and sex is also part of it, and they also both want the opposite. I mean that's like that's been true.
It's just a market. It's just about scarcity. Like people want the thing that is more scarce for them. Yeah. And it becomes more scarce because they are, we're talking about heterosexuality. Homosexuals, the fucking market's broken. It's Saudi Arabia over there.
Okay, fucking person in my chat. I want high conflict relationships, but I don't get energized to fight. No, I don't get energized to fake fight. I get energized to fight, but I don't get energized to fake fight. Okay, that's the thing. Like, yeah, I guess. Yeah.
What do you think? How do you think you become a media personality? You get into conflict with other people, and resolve them through using like high energy, forceful conversations.
I mean, if you want to be Destiny, I mean, there's a million other ways to do it. I want to make good videos.
10K live viewers, and how many do you have? 6.
Yeah, but I'm not trying to be him. I mean, maybe I'm like going for something that's way less lucrative, but. I know what I want.
Cope.
There's a amount of cope there because, and I'm not saying it's total
from me,
but you know for a fact that part of why you pursue that is because you think that the ends would be too much sacrifice for you, it'd be too draining. But if you believe that you had the mental, physical resources to do that, it would probably be just as exciting, right?
No. Like so I'm making this video and about my experience with narcissistic abuse, and it's clear to me that ever since I started streaming, I've been like using this. So like I stopped making art for like a long time, like under someone's like a narcissist like tutelage, and he just kept me fucking hooked along.
Who's the narcissist?
None of your business. Okay, he's
he's
a private
video. I'm just saying, is it one of your parents?
No. Oh, it was a friend.
Of some sort.
Yeah.
And not internet.
He's a private person. I'm not trying to like actually, like I'm not talking about him. Like I'm not fucking trying to send anything his way. Anyway, so now I'm getting back to my like art, and I'm like expressing myself, and like it's a lot of this is like selfish. Like I do want to grow, but I want to grow in a way that actually feels fulfilling to me, and so that is not going to be as rapid as somebody that's just content minded.
No.
But
Yeah, I know what you mean. You don't. I agree that fake fights are cringy. Like if you're just trying to stir stuff up, but I think you overall lack a certain chutzpah. You know what I mean?
Well, don't
you think you seem like a guy who's kind of like taken the dial on life and turned it from 10 to like 3, and you're like, okay,
I don't agree.
As long as I remain placid and calm and stoic, then nobody will hurt
you. Just fucking think that because when you and your fucking manager father try to fucking farm me for fucking content. That's like I like fucking earlier, like Ben like messaged me like are we through?
For me for content.
No, he's like
talk on stream. You're not a victim, Smith.
No, I'm not a victim. I'm not a fucking. I'm not. I don't think you're I'm not a victim, but like I don't get messages. I don't get messages from other streamers. I don't know.
Farmed for content is calling yourself a victim.
Not really.
For content. I can say the same of you. You streamed it to your channel.
I don't get messages from other streamers that are like, are we through or what? Like Tuna doesn't. After I do a stream with Tuna and I don't talk to him for 4 days, he doesn't message me. Are we through or what? That's what. Like so like yeah like give me a fuck like so yeah. The fact that I don't respond to that, the fact that I don't respond to that means that I'm actually secure and I'm not a fucking retard. It doesn't like mean anything to me. Like are we fucking through? We weren't fucking dating.
You rejected me. I thought you rejected me because I was in your chat and you were reading your chat, and I saw you turn and look at your chat, and I said, "Do you want to have a stream after your stupid Wick panel? Not this one, but the other one, or Drazi or whatever." And you read my chats and you didn't respond at all. So I thought you were through.
I don't respond to a lot of chats, but I don't know what you're talking about because I didn't read it.
Hey, innocent. You saw me. I left like 3 chats. I was like, hey, and you were like just dead, just stonewalled me.
I think that your dad is like your manager, and so like I feel like if I'm talking to you, I'm talking to him.
A lot of people's dads are their managers.
No, he's saying that because you asked. Do you want Ben to be the intermediary between the plans that the two of you make?
No.
Do you feel weird like you're stepping on his toes by
if I talk to your dad? Yeah, if I talk to your dad, I want to talk to him. If I talk to you, I want to talk to you. If I talk to both, I want to talk to both. But if I'm talking to either one of you in private, I feel like I'm talking to both, and it's weird.
What do you think? He types my messages for me?
I've had that thought. I have had that thought.
You're such a little weirdo. You think he goes in my DMs?
I don't know, because I guess not. I guess not. But I had that thought.
Well, even if he did, what were you gonna send me that you don't want him to see?
No, I just not. I wasn't gonna send you anything. I'm just talking about my level of comfortability.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you were uncomfortable. Smith,
yeah.
I'm a 21.
You guys make me uncomfortable.
You can like calm down, okay?
Okay, Smith.
Guys,
do you feel like?
Am I making you uncomfortable right now, Smith?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Okay. So then, why did you say you guys make me feel uncomfortable?
I think Ben's the one that makes him feel more uncomfortable than you.
But I do like Ben. Like it's just like Ben's like.
Between the two of you.
No, it's like
what's wrong with the relationship?
I don't mean sexual. You know what he's talking about, the managerial. He's
Yeah.
saying that every time he talks to you, he doesn't know who he's talking to.
But that's just Smeth being paranoid.
No.
That's partially true. Partially true.
I mean, you never
Maybe.
really know who's behind the screen, but like, it's a little paranoid to say like, this girl who texts like a girl is my dad secretly pretending to be me and never letting on that he's
No,
me?
your dad texts like a fucking girl. Okay, he's the one that
is,
I mean, the thing.
yeah.
no, that is.
He messaged me earlier before I started streaming. He messaged me, "Are we like? Oh, it's something like are we through or what or something like that?" And I'm like, "Dude, what the fuck?" Like,
that is texting like a girl.
He does.
That's pretty good, actually.
Except to me,
Amanda-
he'll just text me something like, "Bitch, I need cake," or something. You know.
yeah. So Smith, are we all done? And yeah,
That sounds way less toxic than.
Wait,
Smith,
so
are we
wouldn't you
through?
suspect that it was me behind his DMs?
Whoa.
no.
Maybe I'm the mastermind. Do, 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 do.
Wow. Haven't you seen
Dude, that
American
even
Beauty
fit
Smith?
yourself.
20-year-old women are the real manipulators.
Oh, I love that.
I wouldn't say that publicly.
Kev, I have a
Feed
little
the
crush
fire,
on
feed the
Kevin
flames.
Spacey.
More Kindle.
She's never beating the allegations at this rate.
What are some other great movies? Oh,
The Usual
think of it.
Suspects, In Bruges, The Royal Tenenbaums.
What was the
Tommy
one
John
about?
Malkovich.
What was the one by the guy that made Hereditary about like the son that like rapes his father?
No Country for Old Men. Sorry. I don't know, man. You can't
the
tell
guy that
me.
made
I'm not
Hereditary.
film-
He made
I'm
it and
filmphobic.
it won a bunch of like awards.
A24? You mean the film studio?
No, the guy that made Hereditary and Midsommar, Somar, like he made like before he made those when he was a student, first thing he made was like it was like a son that like rapes and like beats his father, and it's like a really weird and I haven't seen it, but I know about it.
Be careful. Be careful. So let's see.
Seems
Ari
strange.
Aster's of Beau is Afraid, Munchausen. I'm just working my way down his thing.
It's not the first thing. It was the first thing. It was the big thing he made after like as his entryway into out of film school.
Hang on, I'll be right back.
Yeah, do what you need. I don't know, man. I don't know, man. I don't buy this idea that I don't buy this idea that Pixie, who is living an abnormal life, should be judged by a normal person's dating ethics. Or any famous person.
No, I'm saying that
any degree.
I'm saying is different ethics. Like she has a higher level of ethics. That's what I'm saying.
I disagree. I think that she has lower. I know that sounds crazy to you, but I think she
does.
has lower because she's in a position where her existence is so public. Anybody that dates her has a strong advantage over her. I think she has
No.
a higher responsibility to herself than the average woman.
I think
Most
that
women don't have to defend
public
themselves
figures
from
have
public scrutiny in that way.
public figures have power over the people they date. That's what I think.
They also have people have power over them. I think way more significantly.
True, but like
Wait,
not.
Seth, are you saying she was hurting people by listing the qualities she finds attractive in a man?
I think she's making her. She's stoking like the most extreme possible type of parasocial relationship. If you like say like, hey, all you men that are watching this, if you want to fuck me, send me a selfie. If you're this tall and this tall, like I'll let you know if we're down because I'm real desperate.
She said though.
That's gonna.
Not what she said, though.
That's basically it. And that it like.
No, she was just saying these are like this is what I find attractive in a man. If by some chance you have all of these, hit me up. I just don't see how that's offensive to anybody. It's like if I said like
No, it's not offensive to
I like
anybody,
men
but
with dark hair.
it's not that it's offensive. It's just that you
Brown
like. No, but no. If you say that you like that and you want those people to message you, then what you're doing because I'm sure you have fans, and there are people that like think that you're hot and like pretty and shit, and like they'll be like, oh shit, like now they're gonna now like they're a creep. Like so we were talking about like creeping on like people we're gonna go on dates with. Now they're gonna watch way more of your streams. They're gonna be way more invested in knowing more about you because they think they have a chance, and so and like. there's like a decent number of people that are going to be like really sucked in by that, and it's going to infect their relationship towards you in a way that really benefits you and puts them ruins their life a little bit.
How would that change anything if you just posted on Twitter like I'm single, not necessarily like I'm looking,
because I'm single, telling them to
or
message
if you said I'm single and I. Yeah, but so what if they don't hit those? If they don't,
I'm
have
single
those things,
and I want to.
I'm
single and I want to date a fan is the thing.
But did she say I want to date a fan, or did she just say to her audience, if you hit these?
Yeah.
It was a post on Twitter, by the way.
Okay,
Stephen
Crowder had a thing called datestephencrowder@gmail.com or something. I applied to be his girlfriend, got rejected. Didn't even get an email back. Probably because I said I have whatever, like I smoke or whatever. But is that damaging for him? He said like, if you're interested in dating me because I'm single now, email this email address.
No,
he didn't have any particular requirements except like you should be 26 years old or something.
Yeah, no, so I don't know how much of like a female audience he has, but like obviously he like reached you, but like after doing that, like there's going to be more women that are like obsessed with him after that, because they're going to start thinking about him that way. And that's the thing, like there should be a boundary. You shouldn't be telling your fans that they can like think of you as someone that they can aspire to fuck. That's like you're saying that we're equals. There's no boundary here. Like there is a boundary between like someone and their fans. Like you're pretending there's not.
I don't think you're harming those people. I just think it's stupid for both people involved because it's not going to be. But I don't see how you're harming people.
It's not harm. That's an oversensitive viewpoint because Smeth thinks that because you're online and people are looking at you, that you have a responsibility to their feelings and how they like.
Not their feelings. It's just their well-being. Their well-being, not their feelings. Their well-being.
Okay. Their well-being.
Like making someone obsessed over you isn't like hurting their feelings. It's like making someone like see you, like you're taking the place of like someone. They could actually be giving that attention to someone they actually can fuck, or like someone in their actual life, but like you're not gonna do that for them. They have no chance. So you're instilling them to have like a literal lie in their head where they think that they can fuck you and they can't.
I don't think that's true. You're not telling them they can.
That's bad. That you're taking advantage of them.
These requirements, if they know it's
not. I think it is.
You are off one.
Seth, do you feel taken advantage of by her tweet because you don't meet her?
A little bit. Yeah, a little bit.
I think Seth's just butthurt that he can't date Pixie.
I mean, if I wanted to date her, I would have just shut the fuck up and sent her a fucking thing, wouldn't I? But I didn't. So
maybe this is like ultimate
you want to date her, but you only want to date her in the context that she is not doing the bad rule break, bad thing bad. You're like, oh, she's a bad person. She's being exploitative and this and that and the other.
If I was dating her, I wouldn't say anything.
No, I'm not saying that you're dating her.
So you're just a liar.
Wait,
you sound like the abusive one in a relationship.
Smith, you're saying, though, if you wanted to date her, you would overlook these moral transgressions you have with her?
Yeah, but I guess you're...
Simp, duh.
No, like if my highest priority, I guess you're right, like that I have different priorities, because if my highest priority was dating her and I had no other like priorities or scruples, then yeah, of course, like then I would not like criticize her. I would fucking send her the fucking thing, and I would think of like what about me would be really appealing to her, and I would try to take a really interesting selfie that would be appealing to her, and I'd try to mold myself for a moment into the person that I think she would want. God. That's what I would do. That's what
you would do if you wanted to date a girl?
No, that's what I would do if that was the only thing I cared about. And so what I'm saying is, she is enabling for people to have. The disgusting behavior.
Your personality to hers? That's the biggest turnoff ever.
No, I'm saying that is. I'm saying that is disgusting. No, don't let me finish. I'm saying no. Let me finish. Let me fucking finish. I am saying that is disgusting behavior. I'm saying that is disgusting behavior, and I wouldn't do that because I fucking respect myself. But not everybody like online does respect themselves, and so people that are vulnerable and have no self-respect are now going to be suckered into this attitude where they like literally are like kind of altering themselves and molding themselves because they think they have a shot with this fucking pretty girl that they look up to online who said that they have a chance.
And then Pixie will say
They're
no
losers.
because exactly like I said before, no one's going to be attracted to that. That's going to be a turnoff, and then it's over.
Well,
No,
Smith,
because
don't you think
on
you're
a
little bit
dating
quick
app, you
to
just
call
go fuck
things
up.
Abusive?
I didn't say this was abusive, but like it's on the spectrum of abuse
did.
between 1 and 0. I didn't say the word abusive. I said this is toxic and harmful. I didn't say abusive.
Okay, if you're harming other people, you're abusing them, no?
Yeah, sure, but that's not the word I'm using because it's not useful right now.
Well, okay, but it's a synonym for harming other people, abusing them.
Usually we only use the word abusive when like I don't know, like it's just not
When
word.
what?
It's not the word I'm using right now.
I understand it's not the word you're using right now, but I'm just saying I think you're a little.
It's
like,
low on the spectrum of
oversen-
abuse.
It's like very oversensitive millennial talk to call everything like toxic and hurting other people. Okay,
No,
not
that's just
abusive,
being descriptive. Calling something toxic and hurting other people. If it's hurting other people, it's hurting other people. Maybe it's a small amount, but I think that this is a type of this is using your platform in a way that is not good. It's toxic. It's not like we should not be doing that to our fans.
Well, some of us has to worry about that. Some of us don't have to. Smith, this is
good
the problem
ones
with
do.
the word toxic that I don't like. Why you're saying toxic? Because it's such an ambiguous word that you can retreat to the idea that all you're saying is, oh, this should not happen more often, but it's actually not that big of a deal. And then sometimes you can be like, this is bad and needs to be prevented at this individual instance.
Sure.
So are you
Okay,
saying,
I'll tell you.
I want you to be very specific. Do you think that Pixie needs to be stopped? We need to put an end to this thottery. Or are you saying people should probably not do what Pixie is doing right now, and I'm going to disavow it? Where are you on that spectrum between those two?
People should not do what she's doing. People should disavow it, and I'm gonna if I see it like and I feel compelled by it, I'll just fucking make a tweet. And then Wick saw it and he was like, I want to talk to you about this, and I'm like, oh sure, because I have a lot to say about this. I can have a whole conversation about it. So yeah, it's not like I like was like I'm gonna do 2 fucking streams about this. It was just like other people seemed so fucking triggered by my fucking correct opinion. So
it's just a little. It just comes across. It's like a little fragile. And it's like overemphasizing.
Why do you always
think
default to
more at-
devaluation? Why you like? I feel like maybe you were
It's a
abused. Okay,
critique
if
of
this
your
is your way you
stance.
interact with the world.
Oh, now I'm abusing you. Okay, or I'm being.
No, he
toxic.
said abused. He's saying that you were abused.
Right, because I'm abusing him right now. Right.
You're devaluing. You're like I'm saying something instead of
okay.
engaging with my opinion.
I'm
You're
harming
condescending and you're devaluing, but you're not actually
I am
engaging or presenting
saying
something.
That your opinion is overemphasizing ethics in
Yes.
relationships. It seems like
Yes.
you have like lost a sense of like how life can be fun. You just seem like everything's about like boundaries and abuse.
That's fair.
And toxic, right?
I have put I
seems a
care about
little-
ethics.
over sanitized. Yeah, Beth, you yourself said that morality is subjective, right? So why the fuck would you care about ethics?
I mean,
That
that
doesn't make
doesn't
any sense.
morality is subjective doesn't mean morality doesn't exist. Okay.
Okay, so it's your personal ethics versus
Yeah.
her personal ethics.
And so we should all
there is
communicate-
no judge, it's all subjective.
Yeah, so we should all communicate like what
Doesn't
like
even make any
what we should
sense.
communicate what we think is right and wrong, and that's how we have a democracy where we figure out what the actual laws should be and shit like that. So if I think something's hurting somebody and nobody else agrees, because there was no comments on that said that this is bad. Like everybody was just, oh dude, I got a raging boner right now. I'm gonna send her a message. It's like some dumb shit like that.
Okay, yeah,
and
but
so
by
and
that
so I'm like,
logic,
if
O.J.
nobody is
Simpson
saying this,
is
if nobody is
innocent,
saying,
right? Because
if
the
nobody's
jury
saying
said
this,
he's
I'm going to
innocent.
say it because it's interesting.
Okay, but
it's
by
also
your
good content
logic,
because it's interesting.
The
Because
jury thought
if I
that
have an
O.J. was
opinion,
innocent, they voted for him being innocent. Does that mean that O.J. Simpson didn't kill her? No.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of the bandwagon fallacy?
I'm
Just
I'm
because
doing
a lot of people
I'm
agree
doing
with
the
something
opposite.
doesn't mean it's right.
I'm doing the opposite of the bandwagon. I'm saying that
How can that be your ethics?
I'm literally saying the opposite of the bandwagging. I'm saying that I didn't see anybody presenting this opinion at all when I looked briefly, and so I was like, well, if I don't see it at all, then me saying this is actually going to be interesting and unique because nobody else is saying it. Like that's the type of things that I like, opinions that I feel are interesting to say. I have tons of opinions that everybody fucking thinks, but I don't tell them because they're fucking boring. Okay, like so, like if I think something that's probably contradicting what you think, then I'm more likely to say it.
Okay, but it's all subjective and there is no objective truth.
There's no objective morality.
But you're debating.
There's a second. Okay.
You think that makes sense?
I think there's a second. I think there's a second scale on this. Just because
like
something
saying,
is a contrary opinion doesn't mean that it's the most...
That's like saying there's no objective way to judge art. There's no such thing as good art and there's no such thing as bad art. This, however, is not a good painting. That doesn't make any sense. Don't you understand how that doesn't make any sense?
Yeah, when I say something's a good painting, I can argue for why. I can tell you I can give you all my criticism for this element, and everything, and you can totally disagree.
That, though, Smith. You're doing more than that. You're not just saying this is a bad painting. You're saying this is a bad painting. People should paint fewer paintings like this.
Yes, this is a bad behavior. This is a bad way of engaging, and people should do less of it. Yes, because instead of just saying a quality thing, I'm saying that I'm actually making an ethical point. This is the morality. I'm saying this is my morality. This is my ethics. Okay, you can disagree, but I believe that I'm right, and I can argue. I can fucking argue until you're fucking blue in the fucking face. Okay, okay. So it's fucking it's called America.
Okay, Smith.
Welcome to America.
I think that there needs to be a little bit more than just an opinion being unpopular for you to be willing to share it. I think that your opinion also then needs to be like substantial and worth reading. And
okay, well, I think so.
Saying,
you think it's not.
Woman shouldn't do that. People shouldn't do this.
You think it's not substantial.
That critique actually has substance.
Why don't I run all my tweets by you and see what you think is substantial? Fuck you. I'm not gonna do that. If I think it's substantial, then I'm gonna tweet it, and I don't need your fucking if you want to argue.
Not tweet it, you son of a bitch.
If you want to argue with me about it, I'd love to.
Say it again.
If you want to argue with me about it, I'd love to. If I didn't tweet that, we wouldn't even have been.
And I'll also vet your DMs between you and Grace really
quick. You can call me out.
DMs
There's
right now. I'm figuring out who has the power between the two of you.
There's not much DMs.
That's true.
See, I'm pretty sure he has the power. Let me see. I said, "Hi, Smeth. I'm Ben's daughter, Grace. I'm having an after show. Feel free to stop by, and I'll send you the invite link." He said, "LMAO." I said, "It'll be funny, just for a sec, lol lol." He said, "Maybe another time, I'm tired." I said, "Not even for 5 minutes, please. I promise I'll kick you after 5 minutes. I won't even let you stay on." He said, "Another time." I said, "Oh, okay." So, pretty cold so far.
Smith.
I know that pisses you off, but deal with it, bitch.
Smith, I want to know right now. If you and Grace were to date, who do you think would have the power differential? Who would have the advantage?
I think it would be her because she would be relentless.
Think I'd have this little cuck wrapped around my finger?
I think you're fucking relentless. Okay, so I think you would fucking.
How tall are you?
I cannot. I don't put myself in relationships like this.
Gotta be 5'9".
I'm a 5'10" Norwegian goddess. He would beg for me.
She's only been saying this shit. She's only been saying this shit after they had me do a sexual thing like a pamphlet, and then I told them that I like to be dominated by women, and then the next thing she said is I would destroy you or something. And so now she's fucking going because she knows that I would like that.
I'm not a dom either. I'm not a dom, but whatever you like.
Well, I guess you're still a sub if you whatever I like.
Whoa, Smith, aren't you the person with the power right now? Because you already know that Grace is a people pleaser. She's desperate for you. She'll do anything. She'll betray her father.
I don't think so.
Do you have the power then? Is it all about numbers?
Smith.
No, of course you wouldn't.
It has to be at least Zerka. You know what I mean?
Really?
No,
Zerka?
I mean, real
That's
though.
horrible standards.
I'm not a Zerka girl either. I think he's...
I like him. He's a funny guy.
What is it? Where do you pull your numbers from? Where do you pull your mental math about who's in advantage? Because that's what I'm finding confusing constantly. People that believe this shit.
Ooh, Smith?
I'm talking to Smith.
Oh, well, believe what?
He's the guy that believes that there are power differences that are objective and easy.
Yeah, I know. Look. We already came to our disagreement. I just think that we have a responsibility to not take advantage of our fans. Like, I think that like Amaranth and stuff. They're not like. I think if you want to be a titty streamer, you should like if you want to do it ethically. Like, you can be unethical. We live free country, but if you want to do it ethically, you have to like be honest with your fans. Like look, you are never gonna fuck me. Like I feel like there's such an incentive
ridiculous.
there's such
You
an
don't have to
incentive
say that.
there's such an to be ethical by my retarded standards. You do, motherfucker.
Well, does
okay?
Rihanna have to tell her fans, like, just by the way, I'm not gonna fuck you?
Like, if her fans think that they can fuck her, then they should
Probably some of them
no.
do, or some of them want to.
Right. It's okay to want to. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you want people to want to fuck you, if they also think that they can fuck you, but they actually can't.
Smith,
That,
it's called
I think,
sex
is
appeal.
un-
Just because you don't have it doesn't
No,
mean you
that's
can
not what-
go around yelling at other people because they do. Okay?
Please,
Sex sells,
please,
okay?
please,
Doesn't mean
me.
every pretty girl has to tell you, hey, just so you know, Smith, I'm not gonna fuck you, so that your feelings don't get hurt. So
Hey,
ludicrous.
it's not me that I'm looking out for. I'm looking out for the fucking retards, okay? I know that I can't fuck Amaranth. I'm not retarded. But somebody does. So there's some fucking 80 IQ guys out there that like they so I think if you want to have sex appeal, the ethical
There's
way
not many Africans
the
watching Amaranth.
ethical way to have sex appeal is to also not let your fans think they can actually fuck you. If they give you enough money or something.
No fan in their right mind thinks that they can have sex with Amaranth if they give
The
her
guy-
money. She
the
gives
guy that sent
no
her-
indication of it.
The guy that sent her like a box with a shit ton of money, a taser, and a gun, and like like plane tickets and shit. That guy thought he could fucking fuck her. He thought she was being abused, and he's like, "This is my shot. I know I'm gonna make a fucking care package that's gonna blow her mind."
So you're protecting that guy? That guy's weird.
Yeah.
That guy's weird. You should be protecting Amaranth from that guy.
No.
There's always going to be weird.
She's taking advantage of him.
A woman in the public image is like
She took
fundamentally.
advantage of him. So
Okay,
Yes.
okay. What's her name? What's the woman that has the ticks? She whatever. She was being fucking stalked. Being a woman online and having a public image is way more vulnerable than being the audience member. This is what
Of course.
I
Of
find it
course.
weird that you do the math. Okay.
No, it's
so
not
why
one
are you
way.
worried about Pixie? Why do you think? Okay.
It's not one way.
Pixie is not going to be able. Okay. Do you think that Pixie deserves to be able to find love?
Of course.
Okay.
But only if
And-
it's me. I'm just.
And if the only way that she can do that is that she makes a post on X, do you think that she should just like resign herself to being
I don't think
alone
that's.
forever?
I don't think that's the only way she can do it.
Okay, what if it's the most reasonable, the best way? The most
I don't think it's the best way.
Yeah.
Because I also don't think it's the best way. Okay, even if it is
Well,
the
yeah,
best
your
way.
DMs
Okay,
are open, we know, but
even if
what
it
is it?
even if it is the best way, like, so here's the thing. So like you having a fan base, like I probably would make it easier to like put this out to your fans. Like, look, I need to date somebody. If you like match my things, but most people don't have that, and you can just do all the shit that like there's no reason she can't do like normal shit. She can use Tinder. She can like I dated somebody that was a fan. Like I like we met.
You did?
Yeah. I had only streamed for like a month and a half, but we had been in like chat rooms and shit.
Come on, bro. You got 5 people watching right now.
And so, but she had watched my streams. She knew what I was, but I didn't like give like a dating application out. I just met her and we clicked and we dated. Like,
Sounds like you took advantage of somebody who had less power than you in that relationship. Sounds toxic. Cancel Smith.
I don't think so. I think
No, Beth, I do actually want to know. Do you feel like you had an unfair amount of advantage because you knew that she had this romanticized sense of you?
not really, because I had only streamed for like a month and a half, and and those early streams of mine are like god awful and embarrassing, and I'm even more of a pussy boy than I am now. So I feel like so I feel like that more now, like, and I'm single now.
Dig him up,
and
Grace.
so
Dig him up, Grace. She's looking as we speak.
I'm single now, okay, And in that prospect,
know.
like now that I'm like more like I have a better, we know, fuck you. I have a better like I'm a better streamer and shit, and I've like more people know who I am and shit. Now it's like the idea of like dating somebody that's watching my streams is like now I have to have more care, and the more clout that I get, the more viewers I get, the more care that I'm gonna have to do. Unless I want to fucking date someone.
How much is your level of care for a stream with 11 viewers? Let's say.
For me,
I
am so
choose your viewers.
tuna fish. Tuna fish is right. TunaChip is right. I am so fucking cucked by ethics, like into my core. I genuinely feel so much responsibility. Like I don't want to do that. I don't want to like be the guy that.
Are you trolling? Did you just say that sentence seriously?
I mean,
you're cucked by your ethics.
I mean, he's not wrong here. That I'm gonna tell you right now, Smeth. I think that you've taken a little bit too much of the men are rapists pill from the feminism argument. You are walking on eggshells. You think that everything that you do, that you're gonna be lynched for it. I'm sorry,
That's
dude.
true.
You're gonna get lynched no matter what. You're gonna get lynched no matter what. You're gonna be hanging from the pike, and it being scared on the way there is not making it so that you can avoid it.
I don't
better.
think anybody really thinks that Smeth is like sexually aggressive. Do you?
It's no, but okay. He's a white guy with a Hawaiian shirt and a mustache. One day an allegation's gonna come out and they're all gonna be like, I always knew that secretly underneath there was a like basement kidnapping child molester.
Smith has rapey vibes? I don't think so.
Bro, he the one thing that everybody thinks when they hear about Smith is that he came from the Mr. Girl community. You're telling me that you don't think people think so? And he's talking to Grace Thorpe right now. People think that he's raping kids. They're always gonna think that. There's no avoiding it.
I just don't sense that sort of like, you know.
Well, you don't.
I'm talking right now to the perfect victim. Okay?
Oh yeah, you're gonna victimize me. Yeah.
Target.
Smith is gonna sexually abuse me.
He finally found his mark. That's why he can't date you, by the way, Grace.
Yeah, that's why. No, I'm just like this is all like
Let's see it. Let's see it.
I've not been working out either. There's no pump going on here.
Sleeper build. Where's my soundboard?
There we go.
I don't even have a pump because I've been working out. I should do push-ups before every stream like I used to.
I like this guy. I like this guy Tuna. So you don't like all this like abuse, toxic, power differential crap?
No, it's weird, cringe shit. Duh.
Yes. Very
Weird.
DGG.
It's not even DGG because DGG is beyond that at this point. I think. Hopefully. There were like the purges and everything.
AI child porn. It's like, guys, you're too far gone.
I think most of the discussions about it are attempting to create like this great rift between bad people and good people, and it's like I don't think most people need that great rift. No, okay.
We're all bad. There's no good people.
Yeah, no shit. But there is I actually disagree with you. I think that's some weird shit. I think it's there are people that are significantly worse, and you know that they exist out there.
Of course. But you can't be good. Like no matter
all
what.
Sinners, yes.
Yeah.
I don't know why you have like the universal negativity on it, as opposed to just saying like, I know when somebody's a child molester, and I know when they're just like a normal guy. Oh, I went on a date with a girl that's like 5 years younger than me. You're 30. Congratulations. 25, 30 is not that big. If you're 15,
not that bad. Whatever.
Going on a date with a 10-year, like all of this math and everybody's
worse.
trying to figure out the equations. You know, or you don't know. And if you're a person who doesn't know, then you have to put it on pause until you do know. That's it's easy as that. Do you know whether or not it's okay to date her? If you know
Grace, to date Grace?
Yeah.
Do you think? What's your opinion on dating Grace?
Actually, again, that's
shoehorning Smith dating.
This is actually no. He's going there because this is good content. That's why he's doing this. You fucking moron.
No.
Okay.
I'm not live. I'm
live.
Do you think I care about your content? I'm not live. I'm doing this
why not?
because I actually do. I think that Grace acts as a pretty good thought experiment.
Yeah, you're actually 100% correct. Like, I don't know if it's ethical to take Grace, and that's why.
Which is why he's waiting. Which is why you're.
That's I know. That's why I haven't even considered. That's why I don't. I'm not even considering it.
Hey, shut up, you little soy boy. Wait. By your own logic, wouldn't it be that I would be abusing you by dating you because I have much more clout and fame and charisma than you,
Hey,
so it'd be inherently unequal?
We've been saying it always goes both ways. Like, you guys keep trying to pin me because I like every time I have an opinion about these types of things, people are like, "Oh, so you only think this?" And no, it goes both ways always. Okay, if we're gonna talk about one, we're gonna talk about one. But yeah, I don't know if it's ethical to date you.
Based on what?
I don't know if you how like a much of an individual person you are, like, and how much of like your actual soul is fucking dictated by your dad.
That's like, if I was taking you seriously at all, that is an extremely insulting thing to say, because obviously I'm a person communicating with you right now. It's sexist and just completely dehumanizing of me as a person if I was to take it seriously.
I know that it is
It
dehumanizing.
is
It is humanizing.
like a disgusting thing to say to another person, because you're saying, I don't trust the words coming out of your mouth to
No,
me.
I do trust
your
that.
brain to my brain.
No, actually, I
So,
trust you. I trust you right
thanks.
now. I actually do trust you right now, talking to you right now. But your dad probably is watching.
Eat a dick.
He was earlier. So knowing that your dad is watching, and knowing that your dad like manages all your interactions, and he like fucking like, I don't know. It's just like, I don't know how separate you are from him. Like, there's some extent that you're not.
I'll try to get over the heartbreak.
I'm not. I was asked like I know that what I'm saying is like rude, and that's just what I think.
It's totally rude, and it totally like doesn't make any sense, because why would you talk to me on a stream if you secretly think I'm being puppeteered? Nobody would do that, but whatever. You'll just say things that don't make any sense. Like, there's no. So
Yeah,
no
I
such
actually
thing as good
that
and
was
bad,
my.
and yet I think this is bad.
That was my thought. Like when you asked to come on, and I was like, I don't know if I want to, but I mean, I do.
Why?
Like, I don't know.
He's
like,
nervous.
I don't
I mean,
want to.
Butterflies?
He cares. No, he cares a lot about whether or not he's doing the right thing. I don't think that that's necessarily all that evil, but I do think that you have been like railroaded into that being your primary concern. And when I look at someone like Pixie and what she's doing, and you projecting that concern, you're saying, why is that not her main concern? I think that people finding love should probably be a higher concern than people caring about whether or not their audience gets their hopes up. I think that matters way more.
That you've made a great point. Like, actually, I think me caring about what's the right thing is kind of like central to like my content, and like I think it's like it's a way to have a lot of good conversations and stuff. That actually isn't really everybody's thing. So you're right, but I'm still gonna make those tweets. That is my thing.
Do you think that we are creatures of desire as people, as humans?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So, don't you think that it's a little bit like that we've had enough of like boundaries and like dulling of desire, and that what we need to do is like go for things and like have passion, and like the whole point of somebody's life is to find something they care about and give their whole life to it, whether it's their family or their career or whatever. And we need to stop like deconstructing everything and making sure that it's all totally ethical when we ourselves say that we have no sense of, there is no objective sense of good and evil.
Here's the thing that
Like,
you guys
I said with art earlier, right? Like, you're saying there's no such thing as good or bad art, but this is a bad painting, right? But like, also what you're doing is every painting you come across, you're hyper analyzing and taking all of the beauty and the fun out of it.
Yeah. So here's the thing that you guys are not getting about me, apparently, because you don't fucking get it. Okay, you're not on my fucking level. I'm going to be passionate. I'm going to think that the next woman that I date, I'm abusing in some way. Okay, I always will, and I'm still gonna do it. Like, there's gonna be some level of like, so I'm always gonna be hyper vigilant, hyper aware. But you can't avoid it. You have to just live with it, and like so there like. There's no perfect relationship. So
crazy. I mean, if you want to say like, but wouldn't you say she's also gonna abuse you? So
of course,
like, yeah,
yes.
if you want to say people are okay, but like that's all right. Is that how you view every relationship with every human being on Earth?
Yeah.
Seems like you might be the damaged one, Smeth, not me. But hey,
I mean,
course,
he is damaged, and he acknowledged that, of course. But like,
yeah. I'm making
I
a
don't
fucking video.
I don't think. I
Okay,
don't
so
think
what?
precaution
So
is
if that's
helping
an
me.
inherent, so that if that's an inherent thing, so like why pay any attention to it? Like yeah, people have problems, people will make mistakes, people will hurt each other. So what? What's your point?
I don't know. I just think that I find it really compelling, and I see a lot of the polar opposite, where people do, like, people are getting like really. I think people are getting even more immoral.
According
have
to your
to-
own subjective morality.
No. I think that people are just going fucking insane.
According to your subjective view of morality.
My subjective view of just observing people's behavior, like not even like morality. I think like when I say insane, I mean like people are just like people have like adopted like a type of morality where everything is comparative, so everything is justified as long as someone else is doing something worse. That's evil. That's truly evil. And like just positing, just positing just positing a standard like morality that like one could have for like everything. Like this type of thing's bad. Like, it's all situational, contextual, but like having a consistent,
right now,
being consistent.
Like a fundamentalist Christian mother. Oh, just because everybody's wearing a crop top, you're gonna wear a crop top and be a little slut and go to school in your crop top? That doesn't make. So you think we need more morality? No. If everybody has problems with porn, maybe we should all calm down about porn. If everybody has had an abusive childhood, maybe we should all calm down about abuse. Maybe the most important thing in life is fun. And not making sure that you're not abusing this person exactly, blah, 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 and they're not abusing you.
I think that we're ready to have conversation about, so what, we're gonna just keep like abusing our kids and shit. No, I think we're like ready to start like learning how to do parenting better. We're ready to
have any kids. Nobody is going to have any kids if everybody's terrified of abusing them. Okay? Yes, I got abused severely. I understand emotional abuse. I get it. But nobody's gonna have kids if there's no fun in life. Nobody's gonna want to create more people to live in the world if they see everything as a negotiation.
I'll still have fucking kids. Like being hyper vigilant doesn't preclude me from doing like fun things and like shit.
Okay,
like
exactly. But you described it as hyper vigilant. That means excessively vigilant.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes. I am.
Okay, but that's not good. Hyper means there's something off.
It's not good for me. It's not good for me, but I think that it's good for other people. It's my thing. Like I think that we are so like immoral that we actually need like to hear hyper vigilant people.
I don't think that's true at all.
I do.
Yes, Tuna, exactly.
I wouldn't be happy about this, Grace. You don't know how to read this chart. Well, actually,
whatever it is, I want to be at the top. I'm at the top and Smeth is at the bottom. Whatever else is in there, I don't care. Smeth, I don't understand that at all. So you think for you, being hyper moral is not a good idea, but for a lot of people it is? Don't you think a lot of people are hyper moral?
No.
You don't think a lot of people in my age, Zoomers, you don't think a lot of people are like feel terrible about porn addictions? Feel totally confused. There's a loss of the rhythm of life, a loss of societal structure. They just feel like alone in their rooms with their phones. You think they need to be careful about morality? That's what they need to be like concerned about?
Yeah.
So they need to be concerned about like not committing suicide?
Yeah.
You love it, you little pervert. Now get on the floor and beg for mercy.
Lick the fucking weed out of the carpet.
Lick my heels, bitch.
I don't even get the sock.
Smeth lost his energy.
No,
Smeth just told, it's like we live in a society, dude. Like, don't even fib yourself.
I think that like all these people that are acting,
that's
like,
an obvious point.
So when I make a post about Pixie, whatever, I don't think she's a bad person. I'm not trying to say that she's like I'm completely against demonizing people. Like I'm totally fine like talking to you and your dad, even though people like think that you're like evil or something, you know. I am against that type. I'm not into demonizing. So the people that are like hyper moral, like are really into demonizing, and they're only interested in saying that people are bad so that they can say that they're good. But that's not my thing. I'm saying that people are bad because I'm bad, and like we're all bad, and there's no like we're all bad. So you can take that to mean that you can't be good, and you can like there's nothing to. But like I think by like acknowledging the ways that we're shitty.
Do you understand what morality is for, though? Morality, okay, from my understanding as a Catholic, morality is a set of not so much rules, but like, here are the ways that will make your life the happiest if you have these things in your life. For example, if you have sex within a marriage to have kids, that is the funnest way to have sex. It's the hottest way to have sex, the most relaxing, right? You don't have to deal with condoms and all that shit, right? So it's like, this would be the ideal way to live your life, to make you the happiest. But if you don't match up to these standards or whatever, it's not, the point is not to say, oh, you should do better. The point is to say, you're not going to be happy because this is the most ideal way to live your life. If you're, whatever the moral standard would be.
I don't live my life the most ideal way, though.
Right, I understand that, but what I'm saying is you're coming from a place of saying you need to be worried about doing the wrong thing instead of saying,
no, you don't even have to be worried. No, you don't. Okay, I'm not. You guys are like mischaracterized. I'm not actually saying you have to be worried about doing the wrong thing. Like I'm saying that I'm worried about the thing Pixie's doing. If she's not worried about it, who cares? I'm just gonna make that tweet. Like that's something I think.
You want her to be worried about it, and you want other female streamers to be worried about the morality of them looking for some dick. Can you get off of her jock and let her find a guy? Jesus Christ, a girl says, I'm looking.
How am I stopping her? I'm not.
Excuse me, that's very toxic to say. What's wrong with you?
It's not that you're stopping her, dude. I don't think anybody thinks that you're stopping her.
I'm not even demonizing. I'm not demonizing her. I'm not canceling her. I'm just talking about the behavior itself.
Oh, a girl says she wants some dick, and I'd like a dick that looks like this, basically, and sounds like
to her fans. To her fans. To her fans. Yes.
I think people need to be more wound up about moralism. Yeah, I think people need to be more concerned that they're doing bad things.
Yeah, I mean sometimes.
Just go join a fundamentalist Protestant church.
Like you're allergic. You're allergic.
Noah's Ark Museum and sign up.
Ironic for a fucking Catholic. Ironic for a fucking Catholic that you have no morals and you want anybody that has morals to shut the fuck up. What? Oh, so you're so fucking great.
It's not ironic. Catholics are classically not worried about morality. That's what makes us the best Christian sect. Okay.
Well, I think that makes you the worst.
Have sex. Have a lot of kids.
Catholics are the Jews of the Christian world. They're the most faith. I'm not going to disagree.
Exactly.
Regardless,
exactly. And you're this wound up like.
We can cut down the middle.
That's not in the Bible.
I'm not wound up.
Cut down the middle.
I'm not wound up.
I want to ask you, Smeth, if it was in her private Discord where it's only going to specifically people who have put in the.
Wait, I know. Fuck you. No, put a pin in that. No, put a pin in that because I need to before we move on. But the fucking personal attacks. Like we're having two different conversations. We're talking about my opinions, and so like my opinions are like hyper moral. Okay. Because I am presenting ethics, okay, but I am wound up about myself internally, but I'm not wound up about Pixie, it's just so off the cuff thing I fucking tweeted.
Didn't you just say people who are hyper moralistic, which you admitted to being, are generally wound up about their own morality, and so therefore seek out other people to criticize to feel better about themselves?
Yeah, but that's not what I'm doing. That's not what I'm doing. I'm not calling out Pixie so that I can feel better about myself. No. Like I'm not doing. You're telling me that I'm doing the thing that I just told you that I'm not doing. But why are you telling me I'm doing that?
You need to get laid.
I don't think that Pixie.
Okay?
I don't think
it's not gonna be with me.
She's fucking really good at gaslighting. I think she was abused.
I don't know, man. To finish the statement, I think that it'd be a lot different if this was like, and I would agree with some of your takes a little bit more if it was like a private Discord community. She kept it very specific. She kept it as a close thing. But the fact that it's on a Twitter, I just don't know when you're a public figure, which she's not even that much of. But if you're a public figure and you're going out into the most public forum possible and not a isolated small grouping, I find it hard to think that you're not doing your due diligence in that. It feels like you've already pulled a lot by merely choosing to put it inside of a super open field where everybody knows that you're doing it. Because there's an accountability.
I hated this. I hated this. I fucking hated this. I hated arguing with you and fucking Grace at the same time. That fucking sucked.
Fine. I'm sorry that you felt like you had to do a 2v1. I tried making it more fun every once in a while so that it didn't become a gang up. If that makes you feel bad, I'm sorry. Because I do think that, yeah, there were multiple times where it's like you are the person with the controversial opinion talking against two people who, for different reasons,
that's
disagree with you.
Yeah.
That's hard. No fucking shit. I mean, I gotta stop the temptation to play with my knife because it's not the right moment. I swear to God, no.
Okay.
If I think that there's an accountability in doing something so publicly that shows a different and I think more competent moral response from a person that is in that position. I think that as a man and as a woman, you would have two different ethical responsibilities, and that women, because their mere existence with that level of attention and scrutiny is already dangerous enough. Like, the vulnerability that you are putting your audience into versus that you are putting yourself into in that moment, it feels just so innocuous that I don't know.
No, okay. I think that being vulnerable to your audience, it is vulnerable to you, but being vulnerable to your audience fundamentally breaks down the barrier. Like, you shouldn't actually be like vulnerable to your audience. That's the problem. Like, that's not a that's a bad standard.
Fine. How about this?
It's bad for them and you.
Wick brought this up for a second, and I want your opinion. Because he didn't really hammer down on this enough, and I felt like he didn't make a strong enough case for this. Pixie, if she were to make a dating profile on a scale of 1 to 5, how problematic is it the fact that if she were to not mention that she has a public persona in the profile? How problematic? 1 being not at all, 5 being maximal.
1,
not problematic at all. Okay, Pixie on her Twitter announcing that she is single, but not saying DM me details about you. How 1 to 5?
5 being what?
5 being like the most problematic a person could do within social acceptability, not murder, not rape. But like
give an example, so I can compare it.
Okay, a 5 would be. A 5 would be that you're a YouTuber and a 16-year-old messages you and you reply. How about that?
Okay.
And you reply.
DMing.
They approach you sexually and you reply.
Okay.
That's
so just saying that you're single.
Just publicly announcing that you're single as a tweet.
I've done this. I've done it myself. I think I would say like 2. At 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it's a 2.
Okay. Saying that you're single, and maybe let's say that she reposts an image of a guy and she says, "If you look like this, DM me." The classic meme.
Three.
Okay. What she posted, are you going to say that's like a 4?
No, it's a 3. It's the same thing.
That's a 3 as well. The thing that she posted is equivalent to if she like made an offhand joke saying like, "Oh, if you look like this, message me." That's Grace's next tweet, by the way.
I think they're like the same thing. One is just irony poisoned.
Okay, sure. What is a 4 to you? I want to know what a 4 looks like. What's more severe?
Okay, so how do I boost it up? But not like messaging like a 16-year-old.
Because I think everything that we've said is in a 1 or a 2. I can't imagine
messaging just replying to a 6 so I'm assuming the replying to a 16-year-old.
16-year-old is a 5. I set that as the 5. I'm saying everything else that you've said so far, everything that I've proposed to you, you're like talking about it like there are these relevant.
No, but I don't think I don't.
10, maybe it'd be less. But maybe
I don't even.
I'm pointing it by the scale, but still.
I don't even think like responding to a 16-year-old is necessarily like the worst thing ever. Like, I mean, it's very bad standard.
To make it clear that I think that if they're an underage kid, and you could probably respond to them only as a content creator, you can't respond to them and start DMing with them. You can't treat them as an equal. I think that's clearly bad.
Okay. Yes.
You can say, "Hey, thanks."
Okay, let's just say if I'm kind of putting 5 as like, our perceptions of these things are off. It's so.
What number is too far for you?
I'll just give an example. Okay.
Okay, sure. Fuck it, man.
I think the moment that it's too far, the moment that it's too far is messaging a minor as if they're an equal.
Messaging a minor as if what?
They're an equal. Like that's
sure.
That's the moment that's too far.
Too far.
Right.
I agree.
But like I think you could like it's a really bad. It's like ethically a bad because ethics are like a standard like to protect like statistically like you shouldn't be messaging minors. But like I can imagine like someone gets like a message like isn't there like some like isn't like Bunk like a minor? Like the streamer.
Yeah, Bunk's like maybe like 18 now or something.
But like I don't know. I don't care. Let's say there's a streamer like this.
Creator, I think it's a bit different because you're like if you're DMing to say like, hey, we're gonna have this debate.
Right. I can't imagine a way that I would knowingly be messaging a 16-year-old.
It's hard though. I don't know what Bunk's age is. I haven't messaged Bunk, so I'll say I haven't broken kayfabe no matter what. But I also think that I would assume that if someone is a minor and they're a content creator, I would kind of engage with them the way that you engage with Grace, where I'm like, I'm sort of assuming there's an adult involved here.
Okay, if I was saying, okay, I'm kind of confused by the way you frame this. Okay, but tell me if this is too far off. Okay, how would you feel if I was having a conversation about Amaranth being immoral?
I don't know much about Amaranth. All I know is that she kind of has like the busted Barbie look.
Okay,
little mermaid thing, and then she's big.
If when people learn
and she
that
makes porn, right?
So there was a controversy that it came out. There's been a couple controversies, but like the one I was just thinking of, it came out that she was being like abused by her boyfriend, and he was like managing her and telling her what to do at all times and like pushing her really hard and like it was like so. And then when that happened, one of her fans like I said like sent her like a box with like a taser and a shit like a big wad of like money like a shit and like a bunch of shit like that, like I don't know, plane tickets or something. I think if you have fans that see you like that like they hear something and then they give you like a shit ton of money and they just that is not acceptable in my world. Like I would call that out. That's not a healthy relationship between audience and creator.
I mean, I think she would agree with you because in all likelihood, she probably didn't have her her postal information public, did she? He had to find that.
I don't know how he got that, but like when I remember I watched her like open it on stream. She's like she looked at her, oh cool, thanks. Like she didn't like I think that to not acknowledge
like it was a surprise. Maybe she has a PO box. Maybe she has a PO box.
Yeah. I think it was something like that. Yeah, but like she's okay with people doing that. That's the thing. Like she's okay with, and so I think that her being okay with knowing that there are people that like literally think that she is like their family member, that like will like do that. Like that is like being okay with that is, and allowing your fans to have that relationship with you is like bad. Like that is. Like as far as like a dynamic you can have with your community.
I just don't think that she should be allowed to stream on Twitch at all, considering she made pornography. That's my personal opinion. Or at
but
least
that's not what I'm talking about.
But no, what I'm saying is when I answer the question about whether it's hard for me to decontextualize that fact because I just don't think that she should be on. I think that Twitch should have that policy. So let me just try and answer because you started off by you asking me whether or not I think that I agree with you on that.
So let's assume that she doesn't make porn, but that still happened. Like if someone sent that to you, like you wouldn't just be like, "Oh, thanks."
I don't think that you can. It's kind of like when people send someone like $1 million, right? Or like a shit ton of money. There's already something about the relationship between giver and receiver that is already. So it's about the intensity. And yeah, most people like, you've got people like Asmon have like received 10,000s and have been like, don't do that. And I understand why they do that because it's like, that's too much of a contribution. You don't know me. Save this for yourself and your loved ones. Everybody, when they hit 60, you're going to have medical bills. Put it in, like, invest this so that when you're old and crippled, you take care of yourself. For the Amaranth thing, I do think that there's this weird sex thing going on where when women online, what is it called? The pay pig thing? Financial doms, FinDom.
Yeah.
There's like a group of like desperate, lonely men trying to prove themselves as fitting bachelors by sending money gifts that I don't think a woman can avoid when she's on the internet because those guys, you get these like fresh and fit types that are talking about the idea that having money is what a man can do. Having a body is what a woman can do. I just think that the guys have this inside of their head, so she can't really avoid that. Like what?
No, but the thing is, when she got that package, she said, "Oh, thank you. Like I appreciate this." Like, I think that like she can like if she were to say like, "Oh, this is weird," like I appreciate that.
Show the taser on stream and say, "Thanks. This is gonna come in great. This is gonna come in useful."
She didn't say that, but she actually very coldly was just like, "Oh, thank you," and then she looked at the money and looked at like the taser and shit. She's like, "Oh, thank you," and she closed it. She doesn't like.
I don't think it's great. I don't think that she's doing anything uniquely bad by doing it. It's like it doesn't seem like it's that big of a step from just being.
But that word uniquely, like I think that the way a lot of women. Because of how we have slotted them in, how a lot of women engage with like internet, like influencer shit is toxic because they are playing into like those desperate like pay pigs and shit. And it's not like there's not even, we don't have much of a better path for them. We kind of push them into that. And so it's not like I'm saying they're all bad people or I'm blaming them, but I don't think it's a good way that it is. There should be a better way to be able to do it. They should be able to be not fucking taking advantage of pay pigs to fucking get by.
I just don't know. Okay, I'm trying to remember what the name of this fucking author is, but like whoever the bell jar bitch is, I do think that there is some concession that women have to make. Huh?
Sylvia Plath.
Yeah. I do think that there is like a note to be made that women have to make concessions to the world of men and gamify their stance inside of it because they can't choose where they're positioned, but they can choose how they engage with that position. And that position is already at a market disadvantage to them. Now, Amaranth probably does have enough money that where she could decide to just stop streaming and get the fuck out and no longer. She's probably gone past that pale. I don't think Pixie has.
Of course not.
Really don't. I mean,
of course not.
Pixie is like financially dependent on things outside of her streaming. So certainly she's not past that pale.
Of course. And it's
she's dependent on them.
I'm not
she's dependent on the opinion of her audience.
Yeah, like it's way more condemnable with Amaranth for like by like way more. Like
Yeah,
with Pixie,
Little magnet.
it's yes. I mean, I just like going there because it's like an extreme. But if I'm calling out like so, I'm not actually even I wasn't even trying to like call out like Pixie because I honestly I feel so. I feel
Do you
like
agree
that
the
type.
word toxic does this. Like you know that it's because it's an
Sure.
ambiguous word. It's
Yes.
kind of a bait word. It's kind of a bait word.
Maybe, but it's just when I'm using the word toxic, it's because I'm talking about an unhealthy relationship, specifically unhealthy relationship. Like so that I don't think I think toxic is the perfect word, but you're probably right that it does.
Most people think that toxic is a moral condemnation of a
No.
severe degree.
No,
Most people think that. No,
Right.
I'm not saying that you mean that.
I know.
I'm saying that you know,
No,
you
you're
are
right.
aware that people use it that way.
Right now I am, but like sometimes when I'm using it, I'm just
maybe
thinking
were
it's.
you-
When I say toxic, I mean I meant like unhealthy relationship. Like if you have a girlfriend, there are going to be like toxic parts of your fucking relationship, like for sure. Like so, it's like, but hold on,
I wanna
but
believe
wait,
that.
when I'm pointing out,
On some degree, on the surface layer, you know, your ego, where you were doing your thinking, I think that that's true. But I think that on some level, some part of you, because we all do it, uses a word like that because it creates attention to what you're saying. And then you get caught in a fucking bear trap and you have to like dig yourself out by saying, and it's a convenient word because it's taken severely by a lot of people. And it's also not always used in a severe way.
it's because
You can
fucking
always say,
Tumblr teens
all
use it.
relationships are toxic.
Toxic, yeah, toxic. But like, I mean, all relationships have some elements of toxicity, sure. Like,
Sure,
but like
this
that's interesting, and it's important to like think about. Like, it's not just important; it's like healthy. It's interesting and healthy, and it makes you grow to think about the things that you yourself are doing wrong. That's the only way you can grow. So like that. Like I like that's why fucking like my niche is literally the same niche as Brittany Simon. Her whole brand is about like trying to have conversations to enable people to grow. Like that's the same thing that I'm doing. The same type of conversations.
Do you think that okay, how about this? Because I'll make a concession to you, but it's kind of a backward one, so it's also going to be kind of like a gotcha, because that's the classic
Sure.
tuna move. But like, I think we live in a world where if your moral standards are correct, nobody can be moral.
True. But but with the caveat, I think it's really important to acknowledge that we can't be moral, but we can we can always aspire to be more moral. It's like we can always keep working on ourselves, you know? Like but we have to so I'm a meat eater, okay? And a lot of the vegan shit, like if you argue the vegan, like the reason that they love to fucking argue that shit is because they're fucking right, okay? Like they're like, oh, by your own framework, you know, you shouldn't be eating meat. I mean, yeah, but I don't care. And I don't like. There's some like situations where I don't care about abortion, and yeah, it's immoral, it's murder, but like it's okay to accept. It's okay to accept and acknowledge when you're being immoral, and I think it's important to like. I don't feel any shame about eating meat, but
do you think anything is a higher value than moral action?
What do you mean?
So like, when making a choice, is it ever okay to make the immoral choice? Is there something that matters more than morality?
That's a really complex question.
The way that you use the word morality. The way that you use the word morality.
Yeah, so for me, yeah, this is a complex question because the way that I answer that to myself, like, because it's the question I would be asking myself, right? So the way that I answer that is like, so how important, like, so I don't think that I can be truly moral. So when I am being immoral, I want to be able to be like, okay, I'm just eating meat. Like I'm gonna live with it. If I date like a girl that is 5 years younger, it's a little immoral, like a little. Like these are just things like, and I'll do it, but I'll admit it. I think honesty is the honesty is the most this thing that's more important than morality.
I've got an idea. Because I wanna show you what I think the biggest difference between you and the people you're talking with is, and what one of the bigger problems is. So, for you, I think that the way that so everybody wants to define this word morality, and I think that for you, and there's a purpose behind why people define it one way or another. So, in Smeth's world, the word morality should be defined such that there's always a clear path towards improvement. Do you agree? Like, you care about morality because it's a means towards self-improvement. You need to define morality in such a way that no matter where you are, you could always be more moral. It's never attainable. It's okay that it's not attainable. It's maybe even better that it's not attainable.
Yeah, it's better.
Because then you can always be there. So I think most people, they don't define morality as, they don't care about always having a clear path towards improvement. They define morality, I would say most people, is sorting the dangerous out from the trustable. So when they're saying somebody's immoral, when somebody says the thing you're doing is immoral, they're mostly saying like you're a dangerous person and people that want to be safe should be away from you. And you set morality way, way, way lower so that everybody can constantly be removing immoral. I think that how people would relate to your sentences more is if instead of saying morality, you said something like virtue or something higher, something that people aspire to. Because most people think of immorality as like being below average. Most people think of it as immoral people are people that have a deficit of something that you need in order to be trusted. Oh, that person's immoral. That person's an immoral person. They're not saying, like, you're operating on this like original sin thing that makes it so that it's really hard to sort the dangerous out from the trustable.
Yes, people get triggered by that. This is really that. Yeah. And I don't even use the word moral. I don't think I do. If I do, then I shouldn't. But I think other people are the ones that come to me with it. I think, unless I'm remember.
You use words that others use to talk about morality to talk about virtue. So like toxic is a word for morality. It's not just about like I would say the way that you have been using toxic might even be better to say as like you, because toxic, malignant, words like this, they tend to mean like this is a thing that needs to be cut out immediately, or else it's going to ruin your life. And anybody that has this trait is going, like, they compare it to narcissistic abuse.
Right, but the thing is, I don't think it's possible to cut it out. So I mean, I don't think it's possible to cut out all like toxicity. So like
Sure.
that's where I said the most important like thing that I have above morality, like we're changing above virtue, is honesty. The most important virtue is honesty, because if you can be honest to yourself about when you aren't virtuous, that'll enable you to actually be way more virtuous in every way.
If you're a person that cares about being virtuous and moral.
Of course.
Obviously, a self-honest rapist is probably the most dangerous form, because they're not complicated inside of their mind about whether or not they're like, no, I am. And because of that, I'm going to create a plan and I'm going to figure out I'm going to cover up my bases.
Well, not just self-honest, honest to others.
We don't need to make a moral code.
Honest to others.
Honest to others.
So not just self-honest, honest to others. So I say I raped somebody, I'm like, I'm a rapist. Like, I'm a rapist. Like, I'm a rapist now. Like, so.
And then you're like, which means you can't say no.
Yeah. Well, I guess. But
you knew what you were getting into, woman.
No. Like the actual the actual thing would be,
you drive up in a Mercedes Benz that says "Rape Mobile" on the side and spray paint. You're like, you know what you were getting into.
The actual way it would be like so like, don't have sex. I actually am a rapist. like just stay away from me. Like, yeah.
No, you can't have sex with me because it'll never be real sex, because I'll either leave or I'll spin it into my twisted dark fantasy. No, yeah, I hear what you're saying. I just think that's the conversational loop you're going to keep getting into.
I know, I do.
Realize And if you aren't more honest with others, let me twist it into your own language about the fact that when you're having this discussion, you're actually having a different discussion than they are. And you need to like probably take responsibility for the fact that you're the odd one out.
But I know, but but like, so yeah, but that's the thing. So I'll be having my discussion, and people will like the conversation with Wick, like it was just him trying to have the other discussion, and I was just like, no, that's not what I'm trying to have this discussion. But like people don't want to have that discussion. They'll just completely ignore it and then bring it to the other thing, and I don't want to. That's not what I think. I'm not operating there. Like I know that's what you think. I understand, but you don't understand what I'm thinking. Like you're not even trying to engage.
Do you think there'll be people? Okay, so this is one of the reasons that I've been confused when we talk about this before. It's because you seem to use language that most people assign only in all kinds of small ways too. So like, would you say that people have a duty to be virtuous?
I don't use the word virtue. Like so,
Well,
this is new for me.
Wait, I know that's new for you, but let me say it this way. Do you agree that there's or do you believe that there's such thing as like being morally neutral, hitting moral neutral?
I don't know.
Like, if I had to say that there are morally indebted people that have done bad things and need to sort of like make good on the fact that they've betrayed their own moral code, then there are like morally neutral, and then there are morally virtuous. This is how I would frame it.
I don't use indebted for personally.
So I'm not talking about towards like others. I'm saying towards themselves. So if you're a person that said, like, I think that we have a debt to our own moral code. Do you not agree? Like if you're a vegan, or if you like talk about veganism all the time, but then you are like eating meat on the side, would you not say that you're sort of like betraying a debt you have to your own moral beliefs?
I don't.
Because like on one hand, you're
I don't frame it as
them around as a way to like have social power, but then you're also betraying them in private.
I think you actually frame it more in the moral type. Like, so the way I think about that is if you are a vegan and you like tout around vegan shit, but you actually eat meat, like that like makes you retarded. Like, and I think that actually like ruins your like brain. Like, I think it makes you dumber. It makes you
Yeah, of course.
It's gonna make you have nightmares and shit. Like so it's just like mental health.
Sure. I don't disagree with you, but that's sort of like what I think the natural punishment of not paying off your moral debts is.
Sure.
Like,
I guess
I don't know. I mean, when we were talking about Grace, I might talk with Ben at some point about this. I do think that Ben being ambiguous about whether or not something's happened between him and Grace, and then being a Catholic, is bad. I think that and that he's probably paying a price mentally, emotionally, psychologically for the fact that he has to live with that contradiction. Because there is a certain way of living that is healthy and consistent and coherent. And I don't think that it is up to snuff. Say it that way. In the same way that a vegan, and in the same way that, say, a priest being a pedophile, the most offensive part about it is that they're not a very good priest, are they? The pedophilia is bad, but it's worse that they're a pedophile priest than they are just a pedophile. They're like, because how do you, in your own mind as a priest, wrestle with that contradiction?
Who is that comedian? Norm Macdonald, he had a joke about this with Bill Cosby. It's like he is, everybody's saying that it really sucks that Bill Cosby is such a hypocrite. It's like, no, kind of. What about the rape?
I mean, that's a good one too. But like, I think that when we're thinking about being him himself, let's put yourself in the mind of Cosby. I'll give you 3 seconds. Okay, done. That has to suck the fact that you can't like think of your own history and think about your own decisions, and if you are to, you have to choose between either having a reasonable moral compass that you navigate the world with and think about your own actions and other actions, or walking by having that reasonable access, living with eternal miserable guilt or being happy. So you have to choose between being right and being happy. Most people choose being ignorant and happy. I think that's the worst result, is, you know, living forever in ignorance. I'm not looking at somebody who is like moral, quote unquote, and it's like, oh, everything I do is super, super good. Everything I do is super, super good. And then they go home and they betray it. And I think that they have to think in the back of their head,
Yeah.
in the back of their head, they have to be thinking, oh no, I actually suck. Oh no, I actually suck. And they have to like quiet that sense. Usually
Yeah, it
with
makes,
like a little,
they're like using,
a little heroin or something.
I think like you have to learn how to just like use less of your brain, you know, like you just like become less like fucking aware of your surroundings, you know, like
Yeah,
because
you
if
probably do. You probably become unaware of your surroundings. That seems fair. Fair guess.
Yeah.
Alcoholics, most of them have. So like my father, I think one of the main things that made him an alcoholic when my parents got divorced is the fact that he trusted a woman. And it was the first time that he really like trusted a woman enough to like commit to her. It was his first big commitment. It wasn't like he tried and then broke up in high school. Like in high school, he didn't trust women. And then once he became like an adult, he found a woman, he put investment, and then he felt like he was an idiot for trusting a woman. And then he went back, he like radically swung back to like being like a hyper bachelor. Being a bachelor is not, he wants to be able to have a committed relationship with a woman. And now he has to live forever as a bachelor because the one time that he actually tried going for the thing that he wants in life, it bit him in the ass. Well, you're the one living with the results of that. This is what I see when I see a person who is like abandoning their personal mental image of what is right and wrong. And I think that like self-solves. They get punished by the very act. So
it doesn't solve if you are a narcissist. It doesn't, because narcissists like that's the solution that makes you smart. Okay, that's where you think rules only apply to other people but not to yourself. Like you literally categorize everything fundamentally different within your own brain for other people and for yourself, and you're like a god. Like everything good always applies to you. Everything bad always applies to everyone else. That's it. So you just reorganize your entire brain around that.
This entire conversation we've been having before is true of narcissists. I don't believe this view. This view where narcissists are guilt-free, sorrow-free.
No, they're not.
Narcissists are miserable.
No, yes, they're full of shame. They're constantly like the whole narcissist personality is built around avoiding shame. So they will like, so everything that they're ashamed of, it's you.
They externalize the responsibility. I agree that that's the main difference between a person who is depressed and someone who is narcissistic. A depressed person puts too much of it on their own shoulders. A narcissistic person puts it too much on the people in their life. I agree. But I just don't think that you can go around talking about morality and expect it to change the world for the better. I just don't think it does that. I think most people are operating under their own code, and your input is only going to be applicable if you share that code from the beginning, which is part of why you said you think Pixie's a good person. And I don't think that that's irrelevant. You say that because you think that you and Pixie have similar values, which is why you feel like you can comment.
She's like,
talk about.
She's like so like when I see Pixie, I see like one of the most vulnerable people. Like she like is like has her heart on her sleeve when she's talking.
I think that your morals and Pixie's are way more different than you would think because
of course. No, I'm not talking about, I don't think we have similar morals. I just think that
you are dealing with a lot more guilt than she is.
Probably.
And I think that is part of why you navigate the things that you do the way that you do and why she doesn't. And I don't think that her having more caution and carrying more guilt would be better. I think that people that have it, it sucks, and I understand wanting to be a more moral person, but to do that from the axis of like restricting the resources you have at your disposal to become happy. I think here's one thing. I think happiness comes before being moral. I think that being happy is a necessity towards being a good person.
But that's the thing. I don't think that you I don't think that like I know that she says she's like lonely and shit, but I think that there are just other ways. I don't think that there's no other option. I just think in general there's always better ways for like streamers than to use your audience as like a dating app. It is easy. It's going to make it easier for you, and that's why, and also more dangerous to you. And it's and more dangerous to you than it is harmful to your audience. But it still is harmful to your audience, and I just think
What's your alternative? I want to hear a couple, at least one.
Okay. Of course, like dating apps, but also, so like the way that I met my girlfriend, my last girlfriend, was just like socializing.
Is Pixie straight or is Pixie bi?
I think it was her post was talking about men. Well, I don't know if she's bi.
Looking for a man at least. She's bi. Well, maybe she's.
I don't know.
I don't know. Okay.
But
I mean,
like,
her haircut says she's bi. Her description of the trait she wants says she's straight.
So the way that happened for me is I just put myself in social groups and I met people, and then I like started messaging her, and we like, it kicked off from there.
Sure.
So I think that Pixie's absolutely probably capable of putting herself in social situations. But I think that this is weird. Okay, like I don't know. Okay, this is like if Pixie is hearing this, like I don't fucking know. Okay, you're a thought experiment. You are a thought experiment right now. Okay, and so like I'm sorry. Okay, what can I say? But like I think that I just think that the step of like reaching out to an individual, like if she learned how to do that, then it would work. And I think she has like the balls. She just, if she's willing to post that, like be that vulnerable on social media. But I think that she can meet new people and then actually like be like, I want to message you. Hey, like, how do you feel about, like, it usually starts with like some weird niche thing.
What if I made that post right now? Let's say that I was single right now and I made that same post, and the things that I would put in my list are also relatively innocuous in the way that hers were. Because I don't think anything she had in that list was...
Yeah.
It's nothing to me. When people brought in like the racial preferences thing, like they were pretending that her post was more extreme than it was. Like she put some really normal...
Yeah.
Acceptable, not offensive...
Pretty normal, yeah.
But let's say I were to put, like, okay, you have to be, nice, pretty, smart, yada yada. I put some like really obvious cookie cutter shit. Do you think that that's more harmful or less harmful than me being very, very specific and putting something that, like, do you think that if do you get what I'm asking? Because you seem to think the harm is that people in the audience will read it and think that they have a chance. But then you also said later that it would be harmful if when reading it, they said, oh, I have no chance. So it feels like this seems like a contradiction to me, unless none of those details matter. It's merely the fact that others are even considering it from that position. Okay, then maybe it doesn't
like
matter.
just the only thing I think I do agree with but this is a very low on the low virtue scale. Yeah. But like I think that as a public figure to put out what your preferences are, like in like an exclusionary way, like it adds to the zeitgeist where like these are like. Like if all like the fucking like famous people stopped saying they weren't into black girls, like that would probably have some effect on culture. But that's so low. It's so low.
I don't think that
it's low, dude. It's a real low.
I don't think that you can all of this like black love rhetoric that's happened has done nothing towards black men's ratio of interest in black women versus white women. White women are just desired because white women are hot.
Okay, the black one's not as good.
Huh?
Okay, the black one's
Well, the
okay.
black
I'm not actually. I'm actually wrong. I'm not articulating my point right. Like better example, I think, would be fat chicks. Okay, so like people saying they don't like fat chicks. Like, sure, like it's true. Like a lot less like guys like fat chicks. A lot less girls like fat guys. But like we already know this. Actually, I don't know. It's just like, so like you're a fan of mine and I say that I don't like fat chicks and you're a fat chick. And it's just shitty. I don't know. I don't know. This is so low. Like this is not like a big point for me. It's just.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's so many things that you could say that would make your audience feel bad, and it's all because they have an insecurity. I tell you right now, if you're a fat woman, if you feel insecure when somebody says they're not into fat chicks, it's because deep down on some level, you don't like the fact that you're fat. If you loved the fact that you were fat, you would not give a shit. You would instead say, well, Smeth's just a little baby bitch that's not into big bitches. I don't need to be with a guy that needs an anorexic, whatever. You know, you would go down some kind of, and even that would probably be some level of cope. But like most of the time, if you feel insecure because somebody says they're not into this, it's because you are insecure about that. And with mutable traits, it's a little less offensive. But if I were to say no black chicks, which can be said in so many different ways, and people say it subtly and unsubtly all the time.
I'm very open. I love black chicks.
Yeah, I know you. Like, the gawk talk. I mean, you want that kidology head. I know it's fine.
I think she's sick of it. So.
Yeah, you're right. She's basically not black because she's got the British voice. That's like.
Well, that's interesting actually, but
that's like an Oreo thing. That's like the Obama effect.
I'm not.
Like, this is whiter than a white person being kidology. Like if a white person was kidology, they would be blacker than kidology is.
I guess, but like, I think that's different.
I'm just saying stuff and you're agreeing. Sorry.
I guess that's different. That's different. Like the whole voice thing and stuff is how you perceive people as people, but I don't think it's how you perceive them as attractive or not. Like
probably. A majority of attraction has to do with the illustrious quality of like, ooh, I think I could get the thing I want out of someone like this. So like when people say that they're not into fat chicks, it's not even that they're. Sometimes they mean every time I've seen a fat chick, my dick has never moved an inch. But a lot of the time, what they mean is something more along the lines of, I don't want to be seen with a fat chick, or they mean something like, I'm not going to publicly announce a preference because there are more fat women than there are in skinny women. So I don't even need to say that I'm into fat women for them to be my DM. There's just more fat women in America than there are skinny women. I'm going to say I'm into skinny women, and then I'm going to get an equal amount, and that levels the playing field. It's more tactical. You got to do it like you vote. You don't always vote for who you think is best. You think the worst of two evils. The point I wanted to make, though, if I said no black chicks, if a black woman is genuinely upset by me saying that, I would say it's not that I've done something wrong. It's that she has failed to really work on the fact that when she hears no black chicks, instead of thinking, tuna sucks, fuck this cracker, instead her first thought is, oh, me being black is probably going to get in the way of me finding love. Yeah.
Well, no. I would expect them to say fuck you, like that. I think most black women. But still,
I have no responsibility.
But still, like, I don't know. I just think that black chicks.
When people say that it's not okay to express a racial preference because it will hurt other people's feelings,
no,
they are saying that you have more responsibility than that person does to just love themselves. Nobody has that.
This is not something I feel just like to repeat. Like it's not like something that's like
Okay.
super important. It just gives me an ick, and I'm trying to like you're talking to a retard right now. Like I don't even know like what my position is.
You're
I just have
undecided. You're undecided.
I just have
Yeah,
an
I get
ick. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I also think that it's like classless, and you can say all these different things, but I do
My
think
feeling
that there's a weird level of responsibility that people assume on people who are online saying stuff. Oh, you have a platform. Oh, you have a platform. You have to platform good things and not platform bad things. Everybody has a platform at this point. The distance between a micro celebrity and a person with 10 viewers is whether or not you send a go live message. Like most people can get to this level. Most people can get to Pixie's level, I think, just by applying an amount of time and effort. Rihanna, Beyonce, you get into that class. I agree, too big to fail. You have like empires under your wings. Whether I don't think that they would be taken seriously if they made a Twitter post that said boyfriend applications. I would think most people would assume they got hacked.
I think that is a good example. Kanye probably made more people anti-Semitic.
Do you think so?
Probably, yeah. Because everybody's got like the jokes and shit, but like seeing someone like that you actually like look up to or you think is like, you know, like smart and shit and
maybe children like that Sneeko video. I can kind of get it with that. I also think that parents have such a responsibility to filter the content that doesn't really get taken, so it's like hard. Should probably have a talk with your kids about anti-Semitism because of Kanye, and a lot of parents probably did. Like, I would go up to my kids and be like, how do you feel about Jews? And they'd be like, Dad, can we please have a game other than Jack and Daxter 2? And be like, no, I'm coddling your ass. You can only play PlayStation 2 platformers because that's what I did when I was your age. Now, how do you feel about Jews? And they'll be like, I don't know. Are they the ones with the pointy ears? It's like, that's more anti-Semitic than you know, kid.
I loved that game.
That game rocked. Jack 3 kind of fucked up, boring. Jack 2, I was like, Jack 2 is when Monster Energy decided to basically start. There was a period of time where like WWE, Monster Energy, Linkin Park, Cookie Monster Snapback, Girls That Say Bruh. Like there was a moment where that was all brand new. It was all brand new, and it wasn't like an aesthetic that we knew and felt like had all this weight and context. It was just like vibrant and fresh. And then Jack 2 comes out, and it's like, I'm a main character that says fuck. By the way,
they took Jack and they it was the perfect like taking of a franchise and making it more edgy, like because now he's got guns and now he's got yeah.
It's definitely the most successful. Can you think of anybody that successful in cartoons to do that pivot or movies to do that pivot? I think games were uniquely well suited to do that pivot. Because game characters are already so empty and vapid, you're meant to project yourself onto them. Jack didn't speak until the second game, and then the first thing that he said is that he wants to kill Praxis.
Yeah. I liked Jack 3. I like Jack 3, but that's just because I'm a nerd, because I liked the guns. Like, I liked that you had the different levels of the guns, and like there was more.
Was so boring, but
the desert was boring, but there was a lot of progression.
In the desert. Ugh.
Yeah. But there was so much more.
Jack 2 let kids play Grand Theft Auto in a world that didn't have hookers, which is kind of nice. It was like you could get all the fun of Grand Theft Auto in a form where you didn't have to then be like, oh, I'm killing hookers.
Yeah, I actually didn't like that about Jack 3. That they're in the city where you can play Grand Theft Auto, there was also like a war going on. It's like, no, I just want to play Grand Theft Auto, you know, like.
Yeah. I remember in Jack 2, as soon as you finished the game, you were just like, oh, dude, I can zip. You're going up and down, and you're like jumping from car to car. It was such a fun, it was fluid. There wasn't as much interactivity as GTA, but it was like,
Of course.
if I wanted that, I would go to the platforming levels.
Did you ever set up? I would set up the cars so that they were like one hit away from explosion, and then I would like go like full speed and then jump out, and so they'd blow up. And
Yep.
Yeah.
That
And
shit
I would
rocked, and
set
then
up
it was
set
all
up like a pile.
alerted.
I would set up a pile of cars that were all one hit away from exploding, like all in one cluster.
Fuck
And yeah.
You know what I thought was always fun was you would get in these situations, especially in the poor people part of town where everybody lives on a boat off of a dock, and the cops would be chasing you, and you're like, oh, I'm scared to fucking fight the cops. I don't have enough bullets to kill all these cops. So then you go in the water and hide in the water underneath the bridge to wait out the cops. Classic. It taught you how to do crime and get away with it. It's a good game for that.
There was also like the good thing about games of that era was that you could break them a little bit. Like even without being that doesn't exist in AAA games anymore. Like, but now like the jank was there, and you could you could use like the jump of like the fast like thin cars that were like bikes like to like get over shit you couldn't, and you could like use the jumps right and like flip over.
Jak 2's speed run, my understanding is that under certain conditions, I don't know what they are, but if you are on the hoverboard, you can fly infinitely.
Yeah. Yes.
By doing like the jump and spin, and then the board goes there, and you can just do that continually.
You're memorize the button combination, and you just go.
That's just that you could. Some games are broken, but the unfortunate thing. So like, what is it? High on Life gave an example of this. If games are broken nowadays, it's because they let them be broken.
And they didn't polish it.
And then it becomes intentional, and then it doesn't even feel good that they're broken. Because then you're like, oh, it's like the condom's been taken off.
Oh, no, that's not what I was thinking. I was thinking like Steam, what is it, Cyberpunk? Like that was broken, but it wasn't fun broken. It was broken like because it lacked like things that people wanted.
Smeth, I want to ask you about something, because I just realized the analogy I was giving. I love this analogy, and I love this circumstance. I want to know if you've ever been in this circumstance. So what I was going to say, it was like it's like the condom got taken off and you're fucking raw, and that's fine, but it's not as exciting as when you're having sex between two people that are wearing a condom that secretly would be okay not wearing a condom. The condom rips, and you both know, but you don't stop fucking at first. You get a couple of pumps in, and then you both at a certain point have to say, oh no, it ripped. Do you know what I'm talking about? Did you ever have that experience before?
No, I don't use condoms. I don't use condoms.
Have you ever used condoms with somebody?
Of course.
Well, have you ever had the instance where a condom ripped?
No, I don't use them that much.
Wow. I've used so many condoms.
I most of my hookups were like doing weird kinky shit. And most of my coitus sex was very intimate. And in that context, we're familiar enough that we don't need condoms because we know, like, what's going on.
I'm apparently weird in this. I've had relationships. I mean, I've had relationships where I had sex with somebody for 2-3 years and used a condom every single time, and never thought that was weird. I just didn't know that people had sex. I thought you only had unprotected sex basically once you knew that was going to be your only partner for the rest of your life. But people are just like, oh, well, we're dating and we're exclusive now. We don't have to use condoms. I'm like, that sounds psycho to me, because I don't trust your ass.
Birth control, pulling out. Like, I always pull out.
Sure.
I've never nutted in a girl without pulling out.
I've done it. It's great. You should try it.
They say it's great. Yeah. It's never have.
It's quite the thing. Once I got to the age of like the first relationship where I consistently didn't use a condom, I think I was like 28, 29. It was so weird to me. I thought that people just did that. And I learned that I was weird because I went to go get STD testing. And when they asked me how frequently I use condoms, they were like, huh, really? They thought I was lying. And I was just like, what are you talking about? And they were just like, most people ain't using condoms. And I was like, that makes me want to use them more. What are you talking about? Most people ain't using condoms. I was like, this is a bad city. But apparently, yeah, that's weird.
My sexual appetite just doesn't actually need condoms that much.
How often do you fuck? Like
Well,
P&V?
lately, like not very much. I mean, I was just in a
But
relationship. I was just in a,
Yeah,
but
in a
like
relationship.
when in a relationship,
Yeah.
once every 2 days.
You consider that not enough to... That's a lot to me, actually.
Wait,
But-
wait. What do you say? Wait, hold on. Wait, fucking like coitus, like penis and vagina.
Penis in vagina.
No, like, but like some type of sexual interaction, like at least once every 2 days.
That's a lot to me.
But like that might just be like a hand job.
Sure. How often do you do penis and vagina in a relationship if you had to guess on average?
That's something I haven't done a lot of penis and vagina. I mean, I have, but not a lot.
What's your favorite sexual act?
As soon as I tell you, theoretically, as if I could tell you what my favorite sexual act is, the moment after having told you will mean that I will now have moved on and I will be more extreme than I was a second
That's so
ago.
funny to me. That's such a different experience of sex to me. I'm so tuned towards the penis and vagina stuff to the point where I'm like face to face penis and vagina. I don't care what the position is, if I'm standing up, if she's on top, but if we're face to face penis and vagina, it's so much better than every other sexual thing that I'm like disturbed when people say it's like, oh, I want a blowjob. I'm like, you're gay. That's gay. You don't want to look a woman in the face while having sex with her.
So here's something I really like. There's different situations, different contexts, different things are great. Something that I do think like it's not like my favorite thing, but something I like a lot. If I'm doing a hookup with like some slutty girl, and I'm a slutty boy, okay, but just if I like know it's like a dirty hookup, getting pissed on. Because it like matches, and so like the dirtiness of it like matches.
Oh, you like the fact that it's filthy.
Yeah, and
You're more of a bottom, but not in the recipient way, but in like the sort of like the dynamic way. You kind of like the degradation and being dominated more than. But you, unless I'm wrong. A lot of men are super into that only if they are like big into having their ass like destroyed. You're way more into like the symbolic acts as a person who is relatively more.
A lot of kinksters refer to sex as play, and that's what it is for me. Like it's. The problem for me is I've never been able to match. I've never found a woman. I've a couple times long distance, but that really matched my like sexual creativity. Like it's like this is like a game of like Legos that I'm like constantly playing, and like I'm a speedrunner, and like it's like nobody else is nearly as creative as me. Like it's like and if I'm it's almost like I have to. I've never gotten what I wanted. Like,
Can I run a couple past you? And I want you to say green light if you thought about it before.
Okay, go.
And you're into it. Yellow light if you haven't thought about it, but you would potentially do it. Red light if you're not into it. I'm gonna throw some random ideas that I've had before or people I've slept with have had before. I want to know how. Okay. Dragging someone down the stairs by their hair.
I thought about that because you said it to me before. So
yeah, that's one of the ones where it's like it's an intense thing that I'm aware of that is very rare.
Green light.
That's green light. Okay, cool. Waterboarding.
Green light. Pissboarding.
Yeah, I think it seems great. Lighting someone on fire and then putting them out with a fire extinguisher.
Red light.
Yeah, probably.
Actually, well, I've never thought about that before, but I wouldn't want to do that now.
Yeah, I'm coming up with the most intense thing possible because I need to try and push to the line a bit. Um, Tying somebody up, tossing them in your trunk, driving to the middle of nowhere, and then leaving them there, but then coming back later to pick them up. But like kidnap play.
Kidnap play, yellow light. But but I've had similar things like the fantasy of like being like kicked out of like a car naked in public and then having like get back to a place.
With your like hands tied behind your back and
no, like it would quickly devolve from being sexually like it would turn into like a 007 spy mission pretty quick, like
yeah. That'd be funny as hell. Okay, okay. This is so stupid. Sex in a place that is illegal to be having sex.
just like public or
No, I'm talking about like
a school.
Okay, let's put school. Yeah, school.
If I'm a student, absolute green light. Absolute green light. If I'm a student,
it's your own school.
yeah. If I'm a student, like that's awesome. But if I'm not a student, red light.
Yeah. Okay. I just keep coming up with bad ones. Okay. Like ones that are just like so like you'll just say red light. I'm just like swatting her. Just like things are like not even. It's so easy to like push the envelope but go too far. Okay, how about like sex in the back? This was something that fucked me up. People have sex in Airbnbs. I went to an Airbnb once with one of my exes, and she tried having sex with me, and I was like, "This ain't a hotel. This ain't kosher. This is someone's house."
I get paranoid about Airbnbs, especially. So like one time I painted some murals in a guy's like a rich guy's like place, and he did an Airbnb and he let me stay in the Airbnb as like part of my payment. So it was like also kind of like a free vacation, but he had like done like work in it, and he was like an engineer too, like he was like an aircraft engineer, and I was like in that time, and then ever since then, I've been paranoid about Airbnb. It's like, what if they, cause like, so they usually like spruce it up a bit and do some work. Especially if it's a guy, what if they like have cameras or like a peephole or something? Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. How do I know if I can? If you're putting all this effort in,
how do you know whether or not the girl you're sleeping with doesn't have a camera in her bedroom? And then when she says,
but that's fine. That's different.
She says, "Smeth, I want you to degrade me. I want you to throw shit on my face." Oh, that's another thing. Scat play. It's the earliest question anybody asked with King.
Red light.
Red light. Yeah, I think that's
well,
so
actually, like I've thought about it, but I think like thinking about it is very different. I'm not very interested in the fantasy. But like I would say like on a level of interest, I'm a 2 out of 10. Okay, like, and like that's including a lot of repulsion.
That's okay. That's fair.
But like I can imagine it kind of, but like no, never.
Oh, some people do this. What's the word? How do you feel about the idea of somebody drugging you and taking advantage of you in an inebriated state, but under the consensual meta agreement? Someone like roofies your drink, but you knew they were going to do it.
Oh, I don't know about that. I would want to be conscious.
Okay, maybe
yellow
like,
light. Yellow light.
Yellow light. There's like probably some that you'd be okay with, but specifically a roofie is just that knocks you out cold. But maybe like I
mean, being drunk, everybody does it.
I have not had sex drunk before. I don't drink at all anymore, but even back when I did, I was like, You can't do that.
Hmm.
It's my own soy thing.
I don't drink a lot.
Interacting with people when they're drunk. When people are drunk,
No, when you're drunk, that's the thing.
sure. If I'm drunk and they're sober,
Yeah.
I
I
wouldn't
think
want
I've
it.
done it. But it's weird.
I'm a power control freak type person.
Okay, yeah.
I would hate it. I would absolutely hate it.
That makes sense.
I'm the type of person who like I need to like have maximum. I used to bring tasers to dates just to make sure that if she tried something, yeah, straight to the neck.
Yeah.
Like if I'm gonna hook up, I used to like bring some kind of self-defense. Even though I'm the man and she's the woman, I'm still going in with the idea like I'm like, you're gonna try something, aren't you? And maybe you're not, but if you do, ooh, straight to the throat. I never brought a knife. I never brought especially not a kitchen knife. But I did bring like a taser. What's that shit? Spicy for the eyes.
Yeah.
Pepper spray. That kind of stuff. The stuff that was easy to like put inside of a pocket. I have a job. I'm just like realizing this right now. That starts at a point where I need to leave now.
Okay.
Good talk.
I was thinking about that too.
I think one thing that you at least got and can get something out of this is, and I think it'd be worth pondering. People do not. You talk with the prerequisite that you assume the people you're talking to want to be more than just neutral. You think people want to be good and they have a duty to be their best self. I think your average online person is just trying to be good enough so that they can live their life and find happiness, and they don't care about being virtuous beyond that. They just want to like not do anything abusive, harmful, not have people think that they're.
And that's why when I introduce a gray area, they're like, ugh, no, like it's like they're a snail and I'm putting a grain of salt in the, you know.
Yeah, because I think most people are thinking that you're when you say something is not good enough, you're saying it's above neutral, but it's not perfect, so it's something you can work on. What they hear is the thing that you were calling out means that they are not good enough for neutral. They can't be trusted. They need to fix this about themselves right now, and if they don't fix it about themselves right now, they are an abuser. They're, one of these like grand categories of wrongness. So I will keep it in mind.
I think that way of thinking is just, we can't get anywhere doing that. It's just like we can only go backwards even. Like, I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know. But being stubborn, knowing that everybody is talking and that you're in the vast deficit and still talking inside of a public forum that way, as opposed to having your own internal thoughts that way, you are probably neglecting some kind of duty towards adjusting your language pattern to the people that you're communicating, because that's just bad communication.
No,
like if you went up to your girlfriend, I
don't think it's bad for communication.
Yeah, it is.
I don't think so.
Okay, how about this? If you're talking to a child,
okay,
someone that you know for a fact is damn right, objectively, unavoidably more retarded than you,
it would be easier for me to do it. If I were to talk the way I talk to a child, they would just agree.
They would come in with less biases, sure.
Yes.
But this is another thing, though. Okay, let's say it this way. Let's say you're talking with just an adult retard, an actual, factual, unavoidable, genuine, mentally disabled adult.
Okay.
You're not going to go in and talk with them saying, having these like higher conversations about morality, right? You would agree that it would almost be like flexing on their ass.
Yeah, if I did, it would have to be really, really like little bit.
You'd have
like
to
not
feed it to them slowly, and you would change your language. You would make concessions. Most of the people that you're talking with, on the moral level, you have to come to terms that you think they're retarded. Because you do. You'll say it here.
Look,
You'll say it here.
Yeah, but I'm not trying. The thing is,
pretending, oh, they're not retarded. They'll get what I mean instantly.
no, I clearly that's not the case. But I just think that I'm not thinking about. So if I'm talking to Wick, I'm not thinking about changing Wick's mind. I'm thinking about making a stream that people can watch.
Wick. I'm talking about when you make a tweet.
It's sure both cases, okay? The same applies. So, no. But my example with Wick. So I'm not thinking about convincing Wick.
Okay.
When I make the tweet, I'm not necessarily thinking about convincing Pixie. The most I could
about making a post that makes people think and talk.
Yes. So if I try to temper my language and shit, then I'm not actually communicating my thoughts and my ideas. Like I'm being like the adult in the room for the retard. But like the content I want to make, it suffers.
What if the way that you start the conversation dooms the conversation to be about you and your conversation style instead of about the topic itself? How much responsibility do you have towards extracting yourself and trying to talk about it or stir that conversation in a way that doesn't center yourself?
But the thing,
I will say, it's not your fault. Wick obviously used this as an opportunity for you to discuss this, so you didn't center it perfectly. But like, when you're saying it,
I think that the conversation style is the thing, because like, so my perspective is like my way of looking at like if we disagree on what is actually like in the way that I'm saying like toxic or like, you know, like harmful in some way, if you disagree on what's toxic but you agree with my framework, or at least you understand my framework, like you don't even have to agree with it. If you can even understand my framework, like I feel like I have achieved as much as I could possibly achieve. Like that's all I could ever dream for.
Sure, that makes sense. Okay, I'm going to work.